Technicians are ASE certified. Call A&A The Shop for an appointment. 562-3919 in Anchorage and 696-2096 in Eagle River.
Happy holidays from Specialty Truck and Auto. Please help me make sure our military members know how much you're appreciated this holiday season. While you're out Christmas shopping or celebrating with family and friends, join me in shaking the hand of a military member and give a heartfelt thank you each and every chance you get. If you happen to see a military member out enjoying a meal, you might consider quietly paying for their meal as a sign of your gratitude for the sacrifices they make for each of us every day, which allows each of us the freedom to celebrate this holiday season in whatever fashion we choose. Thank you from Specialty Truck and Auto.
Are you ready? Dan Fagan and Glen Biegel are here. They're going to tear it up, rip it down, and shoot it straight. Fagan and Biegel in the morning on Hot Talk, KOAN. And now, Fagan and Biegel.
Well, good morning. Good morning to you on this, the 30th day of December, one day left in the entire year. And we're thrilled you're here. Thanks for joining us. Glen Biegel is off today. He's spending some time with his family. Brian's here with us. Brian, good morning to you.
Morning. Rough morning.
Oh, yeah? What's rough morning?
Yeah, there's this one coffee place I go to where the girl that works there just doesn't get it ever.
Uh-huh.
I feel bad for her. It's just
not her gift.
Yeah, and so today she is going to hand me my coffee, and the lid wasn't all the way on. So when I grabbed it, it spilled over the top, all over my hand.
Oh my goodness!
Burned the heck out of me. I was already running late because I realized I'd forgot my phone. I was gonna have to run back home.
Wow!
And then instead of just putting the lid on, she makes a whole new one. Barely any fell out.
Oh my goodness! Sarah,
yeah, and I was trying to do something nice. Something happened to me right before the holidays. I was at the Starbucks over here by the Tudor.
Right.
This isn't the same one I'm talking about, but somebody paid for my coffee.
Oh,
that was
that's
in front
nice.
of me, and they didn't know who I was or anything.
Wow, I love that.
And then the same thing happened to me at Christmas at a McDonald's.
I love that.
So now I've repaid both of those.
Oh, that's
because
great.
I was paying for the person behind me.
Yeah.
When I got spilt on and was made late and all that. So
You know,
yeah, it's been fun. But I made it. That's why I was barely hooking up the broadcast right when you got in.
Of course, I got here like what, a minute and a half before we're supposed to go on the air, so I didn't help your.
Well, you say as long as you're there in the chair before it goes on air.
Yeah,
you're good.
I suppose. You know, I had a couple of guys on a talk show that I did in California before I came up here, and they were young and they were in college, and they were doing a thing. I'm trying. Act of kindness is what they called it.
Yeah,
you heard of this?
Random acts of kindness.
Yeah, have you heard about this?
Yep.
So literally, they do basically what you do, or what you did, or what you were a.
Well, someone
recipient.
did it to me. Yeah.
Right, but it gets the ball rolling where it happens to you, and then you do it to other people, and all of a sudden, our culture's a lot nicer place to be.
Yeah, I was hoping for good karma, but I got third-degree burns.
Hey, you never know, man. You know, that person you bought coffee today, they could have been having the worst day of their life. Their wife could have left them. Their boss could have fired them. They could feel like nobody cares about them. They could be the loneliest human being on the planet. And just the simple act of you buying them a coffee could totally change them.
That's how I felt when somebody bought me coffee.
Is that right?
I feel like that all the time. But
It's
not
true, though.
Yeah, I'm not lonely because of anything I did. I'm lonely by choice.
You choose to be lonely.
Yeah, it's more fun than having to deal with people.
Well, okay.
I get to do whatever I want.
Well, that is true. That's the upside of being alone.
I can eat pizza and hamburger every other day of the week.
You're in total control, no doubt about it. But I just love that act of random kindness. Random act of kindness.
Yeah.
I just love that concept.
You know, Red Robin, that's kind of one of their mottos.
Oh, is it?
Yep. They reward that random acts of kindness. It's part of their company, corporate, you know.
So within their employees, if
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Yep, they like to hear stories about it. They like to, solicit it to happen.
I saw an interview with a guy named Steve Wynn. You know who he is?
Yep, he owns the casinos in Vegas.
He's a big casino. Yeah, he's basically rebuilt Las Vegas.
Yep. And yeah, I was gonna say nice hair. He's got the Donald Trump style hair.
Yeah, yeah. But he was talking about the culture that he has with his employees, and they what they do is they have such a big operation in Las Vegas, and I think he has casinos all over the place. It's not just Las Vegas. But what he does is they'll do news stories on this network that they have, and all the employees see it. For example, one guy, he was a bellman helping, or I don't know, carrying luggage to the room for this couple. And when he kind of got him up to the room, and the woman, and they're both elderly, realized, oh, I forgot my medicine. My husband has to have his medicine by 5 o'clock today. So the bellman, or what would you call him? Would he be the bellman or the luggage guy? What do you call those guys who carry luggage?
I think the title is bellhop.
A bellhop, okay.
Yeah.
So the bellhop realized, and they said to the couple, where are you from? We're from Los Angeles. So the bellhop says, well, I have a brother who lives in Los Angeles. Is there any way he could get into your house? And and the lady says, yes, we have a key under the doormat. And so he went into the house, got the medicine, FedExed it, same day, and that was one of the stories that they put on the network.
Wow.
And so all the employees get to do it. And what Wynn was saying is that what happens is that everybody wants to get on that network now.
Yeah, of course.
So they're all trying to do these tremendous acts of kindness well and beyond their duty.
Yep.
So and it's just created this really strong culture among the employees.
Yeah, I think consistent programs like that are really good.
Yeah, consistent.
Yeah, I mean, if you do it once and then you don't ever do it again for a while, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the problem. A lot of businesses, unless they're a big corporate thing like that, it's a lot looser and freer,
Right.
And just things aren't followed.
Yeah. Well, I've worked for a lot of businesses, obviously, in my life, but I really think it's a big deal when a business takes the approach that their employees are to be treated well.
Yeah.
Maybe not pay them $1 gazillion because that obviously
go broke.
Right. But just have a culture of having a nice Christmas party every year, or giving people their birthdays off, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Just because when you have employees that really feel like they're cared about, I think they're going to just naturally be more productive.
Yeah, they'll work harder for you.
Sure. It's very simple, I think.
Yep. My employees for my DJ business, I try to treat them good. I probably do most of their work for them when I'm there.
Is that right?
And that's what I'm trying to stop doing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they treat you so well.
I'm just like, hey, I'm having a good time. I got somebody working with me, but
yeah,
I'm just like all work, and I'm like setting up all the gear before they're even hauling things in.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's part of my problem is I don't know how to manage it well.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Monday or Tuesday, the 30th of December. Tomorrow, of course, New Year's Eve. We're glad you're here. Our number 569-1080, 569-1080. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel, as I said, is off today. We are broadcasting this morning on KOAN, KVNT out in the Valley. And, of course, as always, we are streaming live video and audio on danfagan.us. I'd love to get an email from you. My email address is danfaganshow@icloud.com. danfaganshow@icloud.com. And, of course, we are taking your phone calls this morning. 569-1080. Roads look pretty good out there, but if there's something you're running into that you see some slippery spots or some problem areas, give us a call, 569-1080. 569-1080. Another really mild morning in the light of time of year here in South Central. 2014, the only year since the 50s, or since they've kept records, in which the high temperature did not get, or the low temperature did not get below zero in Anchorage. That's pretty impressive, 2014. 614's a time. Stay with us. That's pretty impressive, 2014. 614's a time. Stay with us.
Don't just sit there. Give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
After a hard day at work and then shopping for the holidays, the last thing you want to do is slave over a hot stove. Well, don't worry about it. Relief from this hectic time of year is just a jingle away. Call 333-8000 and ring in the holidays with the Sicily Season Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. So relax and let Sicily's deliver hot, fresh, delicious pizza, pasta, calzones, wings, and salads right to your door. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Call 333-8000 and ask for the Season's Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. For the only 24-hour-a-day delivery in Alaska, call 333-8000 or save 20% by ordering online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's. Wishing you and yours a safe and happy holiday season.
Are you unsure about how to use the health insurance marketplace at healthcare.gov? I was, until I went to a free educational session presented by a United Way navigator. I got questions about the Affordable Care Act answered, learned about options for coverage, how to use the online marketplace, and got assistance with enrollment. Now I'm signed up for the healthcare coverage I need. To hear more about these free sessions, call 211 or 1-800-478-2221.
I think we're going to go full circle on technology. I really do. Because you're going to send me a page, and it's going to say, call me, and I'm going to pick up the phone, and we're going to talk, as opposed to talking through these bricks that I hate talking on, because I always fat-cheat the mute button, and then I'm like going, so anyway, I think what we really need to do is we need to reconfigure the homepage so that it incorporates the following social media. Hello? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
The Jerry Doyle Show.
Saturdays starting at 7 p.m. on Hot Talk, KOAN.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
Here it is, 6:17 in the morning on a Tuesday. Howdy, howdy. The 30th day of the month of December. Hope 2014 was a good year for you. Hope you're optimistic for 2015. I am. I don't know why. Just am. I think it's going to be a good year. I think it's going to be a great year. I think it's going to be a great year for our country, for our state, for each of us. And, really, my opinion, my thought on this, and this is just my opinion, how you will rate 2015 will not be on what circumstances come your way, what developments arise, but really how you look at the developments and the circumstances that arise in your life. You have a good attitude, you can't have a bad year. You just can't. It's just not possible. If you walk around with a heart of gratitude, with a heart of expectancy, with an outlook of optimism, you cannot have a bad year. I don't care what happens to you. Look, life can be rough. Life can kick you in the butt. Life can knock you down. But you can. I had a friend of mine, and I'm a very apparently I'm a driver that scares people. I don't know why. I don't scare myself when I drive, but when people in my car, they're very scared, and especially women, and I hate that. It's not something I do intentionally. I just drive the way I drive, and it just apparently terrifies women. And I don't like to do that. And I've had many a woman confront me about it, and I always say, "What am I doing? What am I? I don't know what I'm doing," because that's just the way I drive. So anyway, there's one gal I was riding with. She was riding with me. I'm driving. And you could tell she's very scared. And I hate doing it. I stop it immediately. I'll pull to the side of the road. What am I doing? Tell me, am I going too fast? Am I taking turns too quick? What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing, because that's just the way I drive. I'm a very aggressive driver. So she says to me, I'm just so, you've taken my peace away. Riding with you. Normally I like to live in peace, but no. Let me rephrase the conversation. She said, the way you drive it's really terrifying. It's just. And then I said, well, I know you're a very peaceful person. You live in peace a lot. I don't want to take your peace away. And she said to me, and this is a very wise woman. She said to me, no, you did not take my peace away. I lost my peace, but I gave it up. You didn't take it away. And there's something very insightful and powerful in that. When we get afraid or we get worried or we start to get scared and we lose our peace, it's a decision we make. It really is. And I always remembered her saying that. I thought it was so insightful. That doesn't excuse my horrific driving and the fact that can be so inconsiderate and drive in a way that scares people. Again, folks, I'm telling you, I do not do it on purpose. And I do it. It's the same with men who ride with me. They're usually too macho to tell me, you're scaring me. But
do they grab the handles?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And it doesn't mean they're scared. It's just okay. This is a different kind of ride. I've never heard that term "lose your peace."
Yeah. Well, I think, Brian, that if we want to, we can go around in life at peace. If we decide, I'm not gonna let anything scare me. I'm not gonna let anything cause me to be worried. I am just gonna walk in and live in peace. Now, when I say peace, I don't mean not go to war. I mean, how you just have peace in your heart sometimes. It's like when you're sitting on the beach at night and the sun's going down and you got a cigar in your mouth.
Right. You're not all wound up about everyday life and things.
You're very peaceful. Well, I think you can live in that 24/7.
Yeah.
If you choose to.
Mm-hmm.
And so my driving, it's not that I take people's peace away. It's that they give up their peace. And I think that's an important distinction. And it doesn't excuse me.
You could alter it if you wanted to.
Alter my driving?
Right.
Oh, I try to. I do. And the problem is, because I'm a single guy, the vast majority of the driving I drive alone. And so it's so habit forming. I have to remind myself, I have someone in the car. Because let me tell you something. If people rode with me the way I drove when I was alone, that would be bad.
Yeah, I would be throwing people all over my car.
Yeah.
But that's why, nobody ever rides with me pretty much.
Right.
But I don't have anybody who would anyway.
Yeah, no, it's you just get used to something. And, I know you're not scared when you drive that way. I'm not scared when I drive that way. But other people, it's just, and it's the lack of control. It's the fact that they're the passenger.
You know how they have those celebrity races where they'll actually put them in a nice little race car. Some celebrities want to drive and do that way.
Right.
Some are like, no way.
Yeah.
So I would say we are race car men.
Yeah. Although I don't really watch race car driving. Do you?
You don't have to watch it to like it.
Yeah, I do enjoy driving fast. And my mother scolded me about this. She said, don't tell people you drive fast because some people look up to you. I said, no, I don't think so, Mom. I don't think that's...
Kids, it's okay to drive fast, just not too fast for conditions.
That's right. Always be mindful of the conditions. Speaking of driving, I got a flat tire yesterday. Apparently, I hit a thing of ice on the side of the road, and so I get in my car and I'm leaning real right, and so I stopped by this little Shell station over by Tudor and Arctic, because literally the car starts boom, 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 boom right in front of the station. So I pull in there, and there's a kid in there. I don't know, 19, 20, 21, 23, who knows? And I said, where's your air? It's locked up in the garage. And they've got tire repair everywhere, written all over the gas station. I said, well, I need to put some air in my car, or could I just, can you fix it? He goes, the mechanic's not in. I said, well, when will he be in? I don't know if he's coming in today. I said, well, does he normally come in? Sometimes. And so I said, well, what do you recommend I do? I got a flat tire here, and I need air. It was, well, there's a gas station over on International and Arctic. I think they have air. I'm not sure. And I said, well, I don't really want to drive it anymore. He goes, well, I got this thing here, and it's a can where you can fix a tire temporarily. Have you ever heard of this? It puts foam in the tire.
Yeah, fix a flat.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I goes, all right, well, I'll get that, and I'll just drive to a tire place. And so I pour the thing in there, and then
put in air though too.
Well, yeah, I realized that afterward, and I said, it's not doing anything. He said, oh yeah, we got to put air in first. I said, but you said you don't have air. I said, oh yeah, I forgot. So I buy this can for $10. Now I got a flat tire with a bunch of foam in it. So
If
I'm
you
like,
don't use it right away, it kind of.
what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'm just going to try to drive a little bit down. This is me being stupid. But I didn't even think I got a spare. Not that I would even know how to change a spare. Yeah,
Or
that's
roadside assistance.
right. I do have that with my insurance company.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about any of that. So I start driving down Tudor, and it's like boom, 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 boom. There's this place right on Tudor between Arctic and C Street. It's called, what's the name of it? I wanted to give them a plug. Something Auto and Repair, right on Tudor. Kind of a big operation. So I immediately pull in there.
Might be R&E, maybe.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember. They were good friends of my buddy Keith Montanon. So I pull in there, and we'll look at it. They put it up on. They look at the tire, and they say it's not repairable because you drove on it. Yeah, well, some dumbass kid told me to. So anyway, they wouldn't charge me, but they don't sell tires. That's not what they do. So I call my buddy Keith Montanon, and he says, yeah, they did put the spare on for me, though. And they wouldn't charge me to put the spare on. Can you imagine that?
Well, that's cool.
That's a paid forward kind of being a act of kindness.
Well, you're dropping names. Yeah, Keith Montanon.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not. And he told me, he did say that. No, they knew who I was.
Yeah.
But he did say that. He said, we don't charge anybody for that. We'll just put the spare on for you. If we can't fix it, so they put the spare on. I got the spare on there now. And then I call Keith, and Keith doesn't do tires, but he said to go to American Tire, that they're much cheaper than Johnson's Tire. That's what Keith tells me. And so I'm going to run over to American Tire this morning.
Oh, man.
And get a tire.
Well, that actually happened to me last week. About a month ago, really, I noticed my tire was getting really low. And so I did that fix flat thing, and then I put more air in, and it seemed fine. But then recently it started doing it again a couple weeks ago.
Oh, so you didn't get a new tire?
No, I just put in the stuff. I didn't know, I couldn't find a hole or anything.
Oh, okay.
And then it happened again last week, so I took it in, and they found a screw that had been in it, and it was all worn down on the top. Oh. But that was it. And,
but you have a brand new car, don't you?
And they fixed it for free.
Yeah, I would think so.
Kia will take care of any of your tires for free.
So they take care of you bumper to bumper.
Yep.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, they've been really good to me.
I was told, what's his name? Rick, who's the guy who used to have that Volkswagen dealership? Rick,
I know who you're talking about.
Blonde-haired guy?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he told me, he was on our old show, QD, I don't know.
Rick Morrison.
Maybe it was 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago. But he was telling me, he said, new cars today, they go forever. And he said, when's the last time you heard anybody ever get a flat? And really, up until yesterday, I've never.
When I lived in Utah, what I thought was funny is I saw people with flat tires on the road every single day. And I just couldn't understand it. Why are these people's tires going flat all the time? But yeah.
Were they older cars?
Well, and that was also 10 or 12 years ago. But here, I never noticed that before from living here, growing up, and all that. So
it's a long time since I've had a flat tire.
Yeah, that's the first one I've had in a while.
But anyway, thanks to the people over on Tudor there. I don't remember your name, and I apologize for that.
Have you ever driven your tire off the rim, literally?
No.
I've done that before.
Wow.
Spinning out, actually on some rocks, and we hit a little patch of pavement, and the tire just slid right off of the rim.
Wow.
It was hilarious. That's kind of fun driving.
I remember one of the first cars I ever got when I was a teenager was a Pacer. You remember those little Pacers? They had the big bubble.
Yep.
It was so roomy on the inside, but it was old, and I bought it for like $500, and literally it got to the point where it would not turn right. I am not kidding you. And so I could turn left as much as I wanted, but it just would not go to the. So we just had it towed to the junkyard.
Done.
Loved that car though.
Yep, my aunt had one of those.
Well, there was a lot of room on the inside. And when you're a teenager, that can come in handy.
Yep.
569-1080. 6:30 is the time.
Yep.
569-1080. 6:30 is the time.
With Fagan and Biegel. Give him a call. 569-1080. KOAN.
With KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. The state is accepting public comment on its action plan for what...
95 FM, 1020 AM.
bacteria. State officials say a series of small steps can help bring those levels back into the acceptable range. The Kenai Animal Shelter is ending its drop-off kennels, and Kenda explains why.
The after-hours kennels were meant to give people a way to drop off unwanted dogs and cats instead of doing something worse. But the shelter says people were not providing information about the animals, such as its age and health, that makes it more difficult to find a new home for them, as well as often ignoring instructions not to leave animals outside overnight in sub-freezing conditions. The drop-off kennels will close as of December 31st.
Public forum has been set for January 15th in the Matsu Borough Assembly chambers to discuss the legal and other issues surrounding marijuana. That's your Hot Talk News update.
Today will be rather cloudy with a high 37, then remaining cloudy tonight with a couple of showers around before. Temperatures fall below freezing. We'll have a low tonight of 28. For New Year's Eve tomorrow, snow much of the time accumulating 2 to 4 inches with a high 34, then a rather cloudy night, low 23. For New Year's Day, mostly cloudy skies, high of 28. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Grab your skis, wax your board, and hit the slopes. Alyeska Resort is open with limited terrain and hours. Check out their website, alyeskaresort.com, for all things mountain. Now that the mountain is open, that means that the Sitzmark is the place to be. Open every day with no terrain limits. Make it a mountainous New Year's Eve celebration this year at the Sitzmark. Party to the sounds of Wasteland Hop. Then January 2nd and 3rd, see the greatest jam band to ever come through Alaska, Leftover Salmon. PBR specials all week long. Tuesday, Absolute Trivia Nights with $100 up for grabs. During January, enjoy Absolute Vodka Moscow Mules for just $5 and $2 tacos. Check out thesitzmark.com for more information. Sponsored by Absolute Vodka, PBR, and the Odom Corporation. Alaskans serving Alaskans for 80 years. Always live responsibly.
Isn't it just amazing how many of these ancient Alaskan traditions one runs into? I, for instance, have discovered it is also an ancient Alaskan tradition to serve Alaska king crab and mandarin white prawns for dinner, not only at Christmas, but also on New Year's Eve. So naturally, crab and prawns are exactly what New Sagayan City Market are featuring as specials right now as we draw closer to the new year. Alaska Golden King crab clusters, just the legs and claws, only the parts you like best. Right now, just $15.95 a pound at New Sagayan City Market. And large white prawns, prized, it is said, by Chinese emperors, are just $9.99 a pound this week. Oh, those large, crisp Shingo pears are fast becoming a traditional food as well. Sweet and juicy Shingo pears are special this week at New Sagayan City Market, $6.99 a piece. However, they're so large it might be advisable to bring a bigger gunny sack. From the butcher shop, it's fresh ground pork, makes glorious hamburgers, just $3.99 a pound. Happy New Year from New Sagayan Midtown and City Market 13th and I.
Hey, everybody, I am Michael D. Cathawitz.
And this is Dr. Drew. Happy holidays, everybody. Have a safe New Year.
While we are gone, while you are enjoying your holidays.
And we are, too.
We have a lot of great Best of Love Line.
Listen to this. Jason Biggs, remember that episode?
Jason Biggs with his beautiful wife, Jenny Mullen. They were
awesome. Chris Hardwick. And listen,
in the world.
Derek Waters, Drunk History.
Really great guests, great open forum.
David Arquette.
Unbelievable calls.
Best ofs.
Tales of Tinder.
That's what we call them, the best of.
It's a lot of good times going on Love Line during the holidays.
Beginning at 10 p.m. on Hot Talk, KOAN.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player.
An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian.
A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Do you remember that Beatles song? If the rain comes, they'll run and hide their heads. You know which one I'm talking about. Well, if that's you and you're inside your home or office, it's time to call Earhart Roofing. Call Earhart Roofing for all your roofing needs. Flat or pitched, large or small, Earhart Roofing will do the job quickly, and they'll do it right. Earhart Roofing, big enough to serve you and still small enough to care. Call 345-5555. That's 345-5555.
Glen Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist with Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give them a call, 569-1080. KOAN.
Good morning to you on a Tuesday morning, the 30th day of December 2014. It's 6:36 in the morning. We're broadcasting to you this morning on KOAN, KVNT. Also, streaming live video and audio over the internet on danfagan.us. Dan Fagan here, Glen Biegel off. Our number 569-1080. 569-1080. I'm trying to change the way I look at people I disagree with. I'm really trying to have an attitude and an outlook where you try to believe the best in people. Typically, I'm the complete opposite. I tend to be very cynical and skeptical. That's my nature at times. And I'm trying to get that in line and change that. It's not easy. For example, our president, I have a really hard time with Mr. Obama. I really do. I have a really difficult time pulling for him. And not that I would pull for him in any of his policies that I would believe would be destructive. But I would like for him to do well in that he would adopt policies and promote policies that would be beneficial to the country. That's what I mean by pulling for him. I'm not going to pull for someone when they're doing something that's harmful to other people. I don't believe we're required to do that. What I think we're supposed to do as good citizens of this planet is to pull for people that what they do will be the right thing and will be beneficial to those around them and will enhance our culture and our society. That's kind of where I think we're supposed to live in, that zone. And just like with our governor, Mr. Walker, those who follow him and the anti-oil populists and the hard left and all these guys, the policies they embrace, I believe, are extremely destructive to our state. But I don't know that Mr. Walker's going to fall in line with those folks and cave to those folks. And so I'm pulling for him in that regard. I'm not pulling for him to go to war with the oil industry as Sarah Palin did and cause us to lose out on the oil and gas boom that the rest of North America enjoyed because of the destructive policies of ACES and AGEA. So I am pulling for Mr. Walker. I am pulling for Mr. Obama in that regard. Now, it's difficult sometimes because sometimes you just don't like people. I don't like it that sometimes I just don't like people. I like to like all people. It's just hard for me. And I'll never forget it. I just really shouldn't have seen this. But it was raining one day, and they were in front of the White House, and it was President Obama, and I don't remember who he was out there with, leader of some country. So he's probably just apologizing for America. But there's a Marine fully decorated uniform, and he's standing there in the rain getting wet, and he's holding an umbrella over Mr. Obama, not himself. That just irked me bad. And I know the left typically is anti-military. They are, folks, and there's no disputing that. Now, they've hidden that in recent years because it's politically incorrect to be anti-military to the point where you're really going to get a lot of heat. So the left has disguised that, but the left is basically an outgrowth of the 60s movement. in this country, which is spat on soldiers and treated them poorly when they came back from Vietnam. So it irked me because I know Mr. Obama is a man of the left, and I tend to think that he probably has some anti-military bias to him because that's what the left, those who he surrounds himself with, his movement, that's what they typically, that's their worldview on military. Those who are honest with you will tell you that, most won't. But to see this guy, this Marine, standing over the president, who's a man of the left, getting drenched while Obama had an umbrella over his head, it was just really difficult for me.
Do you hear what happened this weekend?
Well, that's what I'm segueing into. It just really annoyed me beyond belief. And now there comes a story out of Hawaii. This is the one you're thinking of?
Yep.
Natalie Hyman and her fiancé, Edward Malou Jr., they're captains of the Army. And they were supposed to get married on this past Saturday at the Kaneo Clipper Golf Course in Hawaii. Now, I don't know if any of you who know anything about women. I know a lot about women. And the one thing I can tell you about women is don't mess with their wedding day.
Yeah, as a wedding DJ, and I've done
Oh,
a lot
you
of
would
them,
know.
Yeah, I've done a lot of them on golf courses too.
Do not change the menu. Do not change the time. Do not even think about. I mean, these women go into psycho mode when weddings come around. And I'm telling you, because I know women. I'm telling you, I know women.
Well, not all of them.
No, they all do. Women go into psycho mode because they will think about their wedding. If they're going to get married in a year, 80% of that year preceding the wedding will be consumed with thoughts about the wedding. And they're going to plan on every tiny little detail. There will be at least 5 occasions during the course of that year where they will totally lose it. What? The stationery we ordered is going to be late for a week? Explosion, lose it, yell, scream. I'm telling you, I know women. Do not mess with the wedding plans. So here are these two military. They're both captains in the Army. Both of them have been overseas in combat. They're informed the day before the wedding, you cannot have your wedding day on the 16th because the president will be playing golf that day. Now, here's the amazing thing about it. Heimel and Malou, Natalie Heimel, the bride, Edward Malou, the groom, they knew Obama was in town because they had seen the papers. So a day before, 2 days before, they invited Mr. Obama to come to the wedding. Did you know this?
No, I did not hear that.
Yeah, they just said, well, they said, here's what it says. Stationed in Hawaii and knowing the president spends his Christmas holidays on the islands, they invited him to their ceremony on a lark. They received a letter earlier on Saturday saying Obama regretted he could not come and wished him happiness on their wedding. Then here's what Jenny McCarthy says, who's Malou's sister. It was kind of ironic. They got a letter from them, and then within hours, they were told the wedding had to be moved because of him, because the president wanted to play golf on the golf course. It was emotional for the bride. In less than 24 hours, they had to change everything they had planned.
Yeah, sorry I can't come. I've got to go golfing.
But not only that, they invited the guy. And he said, not only am I not coming to your wedding, I'm going to take your golf course. Now, in defense of the president, after the whole thing, and he realized all this that happened, he called the couple and apologized to them.
Wow.
But he had to. I mean, that's a political nightmare for them.
Yeah, I'd say.
I guarantee you, George W. Bush would have never done that.
Definitely not.
644. Bush would have never done that.
Definitely not.
644.
Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
You know, after a hard day at work and then shopping for the holidays, the last thing you want to do is slave over a hot stove. Well, don't worry about it. Relief from this hectic time of year is just a jingle away. Call 333-8000 and ring in the holidays with the Sicily Season Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. So relax and let Sicily's deliver hot, fresh, delicious pizza, pasta, calzones, wings, and salads right to your door. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Call 333-8000 and ask for the Season's Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. For the only 24-hour-a-day delivery in Alaska, call 333-8000 or save 20% by ordering online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's. Wishing you and yours a safe and happy holiday season.
Not all talk shows have the best guests, and not all talk shows have a good time. But then again, not all talk shows are Fagan and Biegel.
Get rid of the people who are causing the problem. Democrats.
If I didn't,
That's what we do. We get rid of Fagan.
and
We get rid of him.
2010 and present 1434038. 2011 Taurus Q2486. Unapproved credit. Subject to prior sales. See dealer for details. Ends 1/1/2015.
Anchorage Downtown Partnership is the...
Hi, this is Brian Stan. I was a Marine Corps officer before becoming a UFC fighter. Military experience can add greatly to your life, as it has mine. The Air Force Reserve offers many part-time jobs in Alaska, which will allow you to continue your civilian career at the same time. You'll receive excellent training, educational assistance, and many other benefits. Join an outstanding team in the Air Force Reserve. For more information on the Air Force Reserve, go to afreserve.com.
This message is sponsored by the Air Force Reserve and aired by the Alaska Broadcasters Association and this local station.
Hot Talk KOAN, man.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. KOAN.com.
Yeah, I'm sorry, ma'am. You can't get married today. President wants to get in a round of golf. And since he only plays golf 4 or 5 days a week, it's really important that he gets this round in. He doesn't get to play much.
Well, it's the only golf course on Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly. He couldn't yeah, unbelievable. Well, I just don't see George Bush doing it. When I look at George Bush, he was not a perfect president. But boy, I just really sense he has a love for the military. Well, he's dedicated his post-presidency to it. Everything he does now is like Keith Montauk. It's all about serving the military when they've come back.
When he became president, I think, there was a lot of criticism on his military service.
National Guard, yeah.
But especially going to war and probably working so closely with all these military people.
Yes.
He found out what it was all about.
Yes.
And that's probably, why he has such reverence for them now.
And you just hear it. You can see it in his eyes. You can hear it in his voice when he talks about the military personnel. It's just all over him. And, it's just nothing. Look, with all due respect to you, Brian, for buying somebody's coffee this morning, which is an admirable thing. It's a wonderful thing. But there's just something about laying down your life. There's just something about taking what really is the most precious thing we all have, which is our life, and saying, yes, I will willingly put myself in harm's way, which could easily, if not likely, end my life prematurely. But I would do that for love of country and love of fellow man. There's just nothing comparable to it. I don't care how much Bill Gates has given away or all these philanthropists, and there's just nothing that compares to that. It really isn't. And when I look at George W. Bush, I think, and the thing about Mr. Bush is he sent many of these men and women into combat himself, and he understands the sacrifice that they've made. I love these videos, of him and Laura Bush traveling to go visit people in the hospital who just come back from combat and surprising them and just walking in. There's President Bush and First Lady Laura Bush, and they've just come to see you as a soldier after you were injured and just wish you well. Just love that. He's a man with a good heart. He's a good-hearted man, that George W. Bush. That's my belief. And I don't know him. Never met him. Actually, I've been in the same room as him. He came to when he was in Alaska at Anchorage at the Alaska Native Heritage deal. What is it called? The Alaska Native Heritage Center. Yeah, he spoke out there, and you could get your picture taken with him for like $1,000. I was there as a reporter for Channel 2 and heard him speak, and he was very gracious, and it was a big deal, but I've never interviewed him. But he sure seems like a good man to me. And I wonder about Obama. For those just joining us, we're telling a story about Mr. Obama playing golf in Hawaii and preempting a wedding of a couple of military folks, a couple of captains. And, they had to cancel the wedding for a day because Mr. Obama wanted to play golf on the golf course they were having the wedding. And I could just guarantee you that there's no way that George W. Bush, senior or junior, and frankly, I don't even think Bill Clinton would have done that, to tell a military couple that, you know what, you can't get married today, even though you planned this wedding for a long time, because I want to play golf today. It just doesn't seem. I don't understand that. And I suppose when you become president, you're so powerful, and everyone around you are yes men and women, that you lose touch with reality. Let me ask you, ladies and gentlemen, if you were president of the United States and you wanted to play golf one day, and they said to you, well, there's a military couple that had their wedding planned for today, would you say, well, that's tough, I want to play golf? I don't think you would. I don't think most people would make that decision.
Or there's a couple having a wedding.
Or a couple.
Yeah.
Any couple.
Yeah. I mean, they've gone through a lot of planning. There's people, there's vendors that are there, there's food prepared,
Guests that have flown in.
Yep.
Family members.
Yep. They're paying for hotels.
You're right. That's a good point, Brian. I tend to, because it is a military couple, I think there's extra deference that should be attributed to them. But even if they weren't a military couple, it's a wedding day. And for the president to say, yeah, I only get to play golf 3 or 4 days a week, so.
Now, if it had been Veterans Day, that would make it extra special, whereas for the military couple. But I'd say any couple, that's pretty bad. I would not want my president to do that. Cancel a wedding so he can go golfing.
It's golfing.
Yeah.
It's golfing.
Right. There's other places.
How many golf courses in Hawaii? 60?
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's golfing. They've got their wedding planned, and Mr. Obama wants to play through.
Yeah, take the day off, go to a hospital and visit, some kids or something.
Go bowling.
Yeah, exactly. Go surfing.
I would imagine and I don't know how many golf courses are in Hawaii, maybe 40, 50, 60, 30, I don't know. But I would imagine any of the other courses would have been thrilled to squeeze him in for a tee time.
Well, yeah, and I bet he could get transported to about any of them on any of the islands.
Well, sure.
Pretty easily. We'd pay for it, too.
Well, of course.
Instead of canceling the wedding.
So I don't know. I don't understand that mentality. It's the arrogance. It's the elitism. It's the I don't know. I don't know how to really explain that type of decision making. I really don't. I guess we'll just have to chalk it up as something that we just don't understand. But I think it does reveal a lot about our current president. And again, folks, I don't want to be that guy who's hyper judgmental and hypercritical of people who he disagrees with. talk radio is literally flooded with those kind of talk show hosts. And I don't want to be that guy because I don't think that's a healthy way to live your life, and I don't think it's a healthy way to look at your fellow man. Look, Barack Obama is someone's son. Barack Obama is a human being just like I'm a human being, and we should respect and honor people just because they're living in their life, and just tear them down because they disagree with you on policy. I don't think is a. I think it's healthy to tell you where I disagree with our president and why I disagree with him, but just to demonize him and make him out to be some kind of monster because we have completely different worldviews, I don't think that serves any purpose. I suppose for people looking to judge people and to criticize people, you know, the Bettys in the gossip parlor at the hairdresser, where all they do is talk about other people, I suppose, you know, it's a judgment palooza. You know, judgment is a drug. Judgment is absolutely a drug. You'll see it many places in our society. You go to some break rooms, and there'll be 4 or 5 people sitting at the break room table, and what will they be doing? They'll be gossiping and bad-mouthing their coworkers. And they are all wallowing in judgment. And it makes you feel better about yourself. Because you criticize and put down your coworkers, you feel better about yourself temporarily. Eventually, you're going to realize that's not a very good thing to do. Anytime you do something to someone else that you wouldn't want done to yourself, you realize, gosh, I should have done that. But talk radio in many ways has become a judgment fest, a judgment palooza, where, you know, you get like Mark Levin. I think of Mark Levin, and he's just so harsh and mean and nasty towards those who disagree with him. And you get in there and you listen to that, and your judgment rises up with inside you, and you're like, yeah, people are bad, they're evil, and it's like stirs something up in you that I don't think's healthy. I'm not saying bury your head in the sand. I'm not saying be bashful and refuse to stand up for what you believe in. I will tell you right now, much of what the left is promoting, if not all of what the left is promoting, is causing great harm and devastation to our nation. I will tell you that unabashedly. But to try to demonize people who have that worldview, sincerely have that worldview, there's nothing good going to come out of that. Except for I feel better about myself. And those listening to me who agree with me will feel better about themselves in that we feel that we're superior. I don't think that's a healthy way to approach life. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. 569-1080. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel off. We're on KOAN, KVNT. I'd love to hear from you. Give me an email. Shoot me an email. Shoot me an email, as they say. The kids say today. Dan Fagan Show at iCloud.com. Dan Fagan Show at iCloud.com. Also love to hear from you on the phone lines. Our number, 569-1080. 569-1080. 569.
Anchorage Downtown Partnership is throwing a New Year's Eve celebration that you don't want to miss. You could be part of this festive occasion to kick off Anchorage's 100-year celebration. Anchorage's New Year's Eve celebration is fun, family-friendly, and free event in Town Square, held on December 31st from 5 to 8 p.m. Enjoy live music by local bands such as H3 and the Spinners, street performers, food trucks, light shows, and more. Last but not least, the show-stopping fireworks spectacular that will end the evening with a bang! This premier New Year's Eve celebration is the only show in town with the official New Year's Eve fireworks. The fun begins at 5 p.m. in Town Square Park on December 31st and ends at 8 p.m. with the Anchorage Downtown Partnership Fireworks Spectacular. You don't want to miss out. For more information on this event, please visit anchoragedowntown.org or call 907-279-5650. Brought to you by Anchorage Downtown Partnership, Visit Anchorage, the Alaska Railroad, Linden Transport, and Alaska Integrated Media.
Listen online at 1080KOAN.com. Hot Talk 95.1 FM, 1080 AM, KOAN, Anchorage.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. They're in anguish in Indonesia, mourning the loved ones lost on the plane that crashed Sunday.
There is at least some closure as opposed to not knowing what's happened and holding out hope.
AirAsia CEO Tony Fernandez, after bodies and debris were found at sea.
Pictures show bloated bodies drifting about 100 miles off Indonesia's coast. The families are distraught. Some collapsing in grief at a makeshift disaster center in Surabaya, Indonesia. The wreckage includes an aircraft door. Some of the debris is painted white and red, the colors of AirAsia. Meanwhile, the U.S. Navy dispatching to the region 2 dive teams and a second warship, the USS Fort Worth, which is carrying both manned and unmanned helicopters, a senior defense official tells Fox. In the Asia Bureau, Alistair Wankin, Fox News Radio.
More police officers died in the line of duty this year, 126. That is 24% more than in 2013. The National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund says 50 of them were shot, 18 more than last year. In Los Angeles,
we want a civilian review board with subpoena power.
Protesters are angry over the August police shooting death of an unarmed black man, though officers say Ezell Ford fought with them and tried to grab one of their guns. A new autopsy report shows he was shot at close range. A word of warning to drivers in snowy Colorado.
Things are going to be very icy out there.
That's Heather Burke with Denver Transportation. Could also be snowy or icy from high elevations in Southern California to Texas. Several inches of snow could also crash the New Year's Eve party in Las Vegas. We're more optimistic about the economy. Consumer confidence rose slightly this month in a private survey that comes after third quarter growth was the fastest in 11 years. Another private report shows the increase in home prices keeps slowing in 20 big cities tracked. On Wall Street, the Dow's down 45 points. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
As a retired teacher, I look for ways to save money for the things I love, like traveling the world. Medicare plans change each year. Fortunately, my HealthMart pharmacist helped me understand my insurance, saving me money on prescriptions. And they can help you too. My pharmacist cares about my health and the things I love, whatever that might be.
HealthMart, caring for you and about you. Visit healthmart.com for the locally owned pharmacy near you.
Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost you thousands. The Quicken Loans PMI Advantage is our lender-paid mortgage insurance program. You see, we pay the PMI so you don't have to. PMI Advantage can give you more options, more flexibility, and may save you thousands when you refinance. To learn more, call us at 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN, or visit us at QuickenLoans.com.
Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and West number 3030.
President Obama has said he...
You know, after a hard day at work and then shopping for the holidays, the last thing you want to do is slave over a hot stove. Well, don't worry about it. Relief from this hectic time of year is just a jingle away. Call 333-8000 and ring in the holidays with the Sicily Season Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. So relax and let Sicily's deliver hot, fresh, delicious pizza, pasta, calzones, wings, and salads right to your door. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Call 333-8000 and ask for the Season's Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. For the only 24-hour-a-day delivery in Alaska, call 333-8000 or save 20% by ordering online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's. Wishing you and yours a safe and happy holiday season.
Hi, this is Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company. Sellers, if you are going to sell your home, now may very well be the best time. The current interest rates are still very low in comparison to previous loan rates. Now is the time to take advantage of this uncommon phenomenon. We will look back at this period as a golden opportunity to buy or sell. Homeowners planning to sell should call us at 244-0821. We will be happy to come out and do a comparative market analysis at your convenience. Call Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company, 244-0821. That's 244-0821.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player.
An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian.
A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Here's my good friend, Keith Monternock.
Automotive repairs can be frustrating. Let me help. Call 349-1637. I have been in business for nearly 20 years at the same location. Specialty Truck and Auto is in South Anchorage behind the Long Branch Saloon where Diamond becomes Abbott. I have 6 ASE certified technicians working from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. I have a voucher for any of the 6 Alaska Laser Wash locations for each customer. If you schedule ahead and need a ride when you drop your vehicle off, I may be able to help. Call Specialty Truck and Auto, 349-1637.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
Well, good morning to you. 6 minutes past 7 o'clock. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel will be back next week. He's off this week, spending some time with his family and enjoying the holidays as he well deserves. We're here on KOAN, KVNT, also streaming live, video and audio, danfagan.us, danfagan.us. You can watch us on the internet, right there on your fancy computer, your iPad, your iPhone, whatever it is, whatever device you have. 569-1080 is our number, 569-1080. To me, my personal opinion, there's no more beautiful sound on New Year's Eve than fireworks. I just think fireworks are the epitome of what this country is about. It's about freedom. It's about celebrating who we are as a nation. And I know it's not the 4th of July, it's New Year's Eve, and everybody celebrates New Year's Eve. But there's just something about fireworks. I don't know about you, but we've always had fireworks on New Year's Eve. All the kids get out on the street. We celebrate, and it's just an exciting time. And the idea that Anchorage would say to the people of the city that we don't trust you to shoot off fireworks in a responsible manner, it just pisses me off. And I know, I used to date a nurse, and she'd say, oh, you do not want to be in the emergency room on New Year's Eve when the fireworks are going off. People come in and there's injuries. I know it's dangerous. I understand that. But as an individual who believes freedom is more important than comfort and security, I should have the opportunity to shoot off a bottle rocket. I'll tell you what we used to do when I was 14, 15. I don't know if you did this, Brian. 13, 12. No, we're not 12. I was in high school. So how old are you when you're in high school? 15?
Like 14 to 18.
14. I don't think I did when I was 18. Probably 14 to 16. We would have bottle rocket wars.
Yeah.
Where you literally would light the bottle rocket and point it, not at close range, at your buddies. And there was we'd run through the neighborhood, there was some woods by the house that we lived in, and we would go out, there'd be 15 of us. And we'd all have our stash of bottle rockets, and we would have bottle rockets wars where we would point them at each other and try to hit each other with them.
We used to do that right here in Anchorage, down by the park strip. I mean, not even there, down by the water, downtown.
Yeah.
We'd just go out off the trail, and right there in the rocks and the mud, there'd be 6 of us, and we'd be shooting them at each other. Crazy.
It's what America's all about.
Yeah.
I remember I had Dennis LeBlanc, who was the mayor's city manager on, Mayor Mark Bacon's city manager on. This is when they were all talking about getting rid of fireworks for the normal people, the little people. And Mr. LeBlanc, who I like, I've golfed with him, he's a nice guy. He said on my show, well, Dan, this is a direct, exact quote. It was so strong in my head, I will not paraphrase it for you. I will give you the exact quote. Well, Dan, we believe that the citizen of Anchorage should only participate in government-sanctioned fireworks. when I heard him say that, I thought, thank you, Mr. Putin. Thank you, Mr. Gorbachev. Government-sanctioned fun. That's what you're telling us. You may have fun if it is sanctioned by the government. Are you kidding me? And, the thing about this fireworks rule is nobody obeys it. You're going to hear little Fluffy is going to be under the bed New Year's Eve night, and you're just going to have to deal with little Fluffy being scared because there will be fireworks throughout all of Anchorage.
Yeah, the majority of people would never buy fireworks or use them anyway. But there's the minority that would. They're going to do it regardless.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
So it's a stupid law. It's a we don't trust you law.
I live by the gun range, and we have dogs. And when there's people shooting shotguns off down there, I can hear it all day long.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Our dogs, maybe our dogs are conditioned that way because they're, police dogs. But, we had fireworks being shot off behind our house this last weekend. And the dogs are nothing going on. They're used to the sound, though.
Sure. But you agree with me that we should be able to shoot fireworks off?
Yeah, if you want. If you're being safe about it.
Yeah. And a lot of people aren't. A lot of people will drink.
No. Yeah.
And they'll be stupid. But
you can drive 60 miles north and shoot them off legally.
Well, sure.
Why can't you do it?
Well, sure.
You're going to offend somebody.
And, look, there are a lot of people driving around drunk New Year's Eve. I would say we should probably focus on that instead of somebody shooting off a bottle rocket.
Hope so.
And I as I recall, I'm trying to think of the assembly members who brought about this. We don't trust you. I think Dick Cheney was one of the big ones. He really didn't want you to be able to shoot off fireworks.
I tell you, one year on 4th of July, there's this guy, Bob. You know who I'm talking about, Bob from the other radio station.
Oh, Lester.
We went up to his house for 4th of July once,
Yeah.
and he was friends with one of the fireworks guys.
Okay.
He had a truck
Oh, my goodness.
load full,
Yeah.
and we shot fireworks off for
Yeah.
over an hour. And
Yeah.
it was the big stuff.
Right,
It was
right.
amazing. Up on the hillside,
Yeah.
nobody was concerned one bit.
No. I remember.
Except for me, I was scared.
Were you?
I was afraid they were going to come and arrest me, yeah.
I'm trying to think who that guy is. I played poker with him. He owns a Gorilla fireworks stand, right?
No,
in
it was
Houston?
the other guy. There was some battle between them.
Oh, okay.
Jerry's Fireworks was Bob's friend.
Oh, okay. No,
and, yeah, there was a little drama going on with
is that right?
that one year. Yeah, it was a while back.
It's New Year's Eve. We're ringing in a new year. Let us shoot some fireworks. Yeah, could you even have sparklers? Are sparklers allowed?
Yeah, I think you can. They'll sell like little snap things and stuff in the those little things you pull and it shoots a little confetti. You can do that.
You can get that.
Boy, that'll be fun.
That's government sanctioned.
Yeah, you can buy that at Cars.
But no bottle rockets or M80s or any of that stuff. I love fireworks. Now, there will be a big fireworks display, I suppose, downtown that's government sanctioned at midnight, right?
I'm not sure if it's at midnight, but I know the downtown partnership's putting it on. We've had some commercials.
Yeah, I've been told it is midnight.
Midnight.
Now,
man, that's so late. I'll be asleep by then.
It's New Year's Eve, man. Even my mom stays up on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do it. I can't even stay up when I want to.
Now, I will tell you, and I still believe this, and you have to excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, but shooting off fireworks in Alaska on July 4th is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, because it's light outside.
I was in Aniktuvik Pass, north of the Arctic Circle, on July 4th, and they set up fireworks, and you just couldn't see a thing.
You could hear some bangs, though. That was the fun.
I guess.
Nothing
I remember
like exploding things.
What is it? Mulcahy Stadium here in Anchorage, they shoot them off, right?
Yep.
At midnight.
The baseball game.
And you don't see them.
Yeah.
Just crazy. So this is our night. This New Year's Eve, this is our night. We get to actually see the fireworks. 569-1080, 714. 569-1080, 714.
Don't just sit there. Give them a call. 9-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
Isn't it just amazing how many of these ancient Alaskan traditions one runs into? I, for instance, have discovered it is also an ancient Alaskan tradition to serve Alaska king crab and mandarin white prawns for dinner, not only at Christmas, but also on New Year's Eve. So naturally, crab and prawns are exactly what New Sagayan City Market are featuring as specials right now as we draw closer to the new year. Alaska Golden King crab clusters, just the legs and claws, only the parts you like best. Right now, just $15.95 a pound at New Sagayan City Market. And large white prawns, prized, it is said, by Chinese emperors, are just $9.99 a pound this week. Oh, those large, crisp Shingo pears are fast becoming a traditional food as well. Sweet and juicy Shingo pears are special this week at New Sagayan City Market, $6.99 a piece. However, they're so large it might be advisable to bring a bigger gunny sack. From the butcher shop, it's fresh ground pork, makes glorious hamburgers just $3.99 a pound. Happy New Year from New Sagayan Midtown and City Market 13th and I.
If you're ready for the movies, there's just one place to go. Check out movies8.com. It's showtime. Movie times, previews, and more. Get tickets, rent stuff. Lots of information to explore. Great restaurants. Now you'll know just where to go. Before and after every show. Check out movies8.com. It's showtime.
Hi, this is Brian Stan. I was a Marine Corps officer before becoming a UFC fighter. Military experience can add greatly to your life, as it has mine. The Air Force Reserve offers many part-time jobs in Alaska, which will allow you to continue your civilian career at the same time. You'll receive excellent training, educational assistance, and many other benefits. Join an outstanding team in the Air Force Reserve. For more information on the Air Force Reserve, go to afreserve.com.
This message is sponsored by the Air Force Reserve and aired by the Alaska Broadcasters Association and this local station.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give them a call, 569-1080. KOAN.
All right, welcome back. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel show. Glen Biegel off today, taking the week off, and he will be back next week, spending some time with his family. Our number 569-1080. 569-1080. We're streaming live on the internet. You can actually watch the show live on danfagan.us. danfagan.us. We're also, of course, on KOAN, KVNT. We're on 4 different signals, which is unprecedented as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know. We're on 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM in Anchorage. 1080 AM in Anchorage. 92.5 FM out the valley. And then we are also on 1020 out in the valley. That's 4 signals. One show. Pretty cool, as they say. So check that out. 569-1080. 569-1080 again is our number. 569-1080. Email me, danfaganshow@icloud.com. danfaganshow@icloud.com. Fireworks illegal this year, New Year's Eve. Very frustrating for me. I believe it's freedom. You can shoot it off out in the valley, shoot them off out in the valley. But you may not shoot off fireworks in Anchorage. In Anchorage, the municipality has banned all fireworks, including sparklers. Sparklers, Brian. You may not light a sparkler in Anchorage.
Now they've done it.
How little does your government trust you? Don't touch that, sir. Put the sparkler down on the ground, and please put your hands behind your back.
That's
you have
right.
the right to remain silent.
But go ahead and buy that case of beer.
Do you have any sparklers in your vehicle, sir? We need to search it if you do. We have probable cause to believe that you have sparklers in your vehicle. Sparklers!
But you can still smoke cigarettes.
$500 fine if you have a sparkler. if the police find you with a sparkler, you were going to have to pay $500. Who is the clown town that came up with that rule?
That is ridiculous. I mean, I've seen sparklers on birthday cakes.
Everybody, put your hands up.
No more candles.
Step away from the cake.
Yeah, you're all under arrest. This wedding's canceled.
Sparklers. Sparklers. You may not have a sparkler in Anchorage, or you'll have a sparkler. Listen to me. Listen to me. The government is out of control. They play you for the fool. They don't trust you with a sparkler. A sparkler. Have you? It's the deal where it's a stick and you light it and it emits sparks. Unless you're going to stick that sparkler into a big gallon of gasoline, you're not going to hurt anybody with it.
You might ruin your pants if it,
Maybe a little. I don't even think a sparkler is strong enough to leave a black mark.
Yeah, it doesn't burn that long. I mean, you'll feel it on your hand, and you'll move your hand, but it's not burning it.
Let me tell you something. If we were freedom-loving people, every Anchorageite would meet me down at City Hall tomorrow at noon with a sparkler, saying enough is enough. Try to take my sparkler from me. See what happens. A sparkler.
Start banning like large sodas too, right?
That's next. You think the nanny state isn't out of control? You may not have or possess or purchase a sparkler. A sparkler. It's unbelievable. $500 fine, says Jennifer Castro with the police department, Anchorage Police Department. Now, there are places that still allow freedom. Matsu Borough, personal use fireworks are permitted on private property on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, with some cities and towns like Houston, Palmer, and Wasilla, opting for their own hours of pyrotechnics. In Houston, fireworks are legal 365 days a year. But for 6 days around New Year's Eve, they are legal for longer hours. Normally, fireworks use permit between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. in Houston. But between the 29th and the 3rd, they're allowed from 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. In Wasilla, the city has given the go-ahead for fireworks from 6 p.m. New Year's Eve to 1 a.m. New Year's Day, as long as users are farther than 250 feet from healthcare facilities, assisted living facilities, libraries, schools, and places of worship. Who comes up with this? They also must be more than 50 feet from lakes and waterways, and more than 500 feet from any facility where flammable liquids or gases are stored. Now that makes sense. You shouldn't be able to set up a major fireworks display at your local Shell station. That's the first sensible thing I've read today. In Palmer, the city has the same distance specifications, but shorter permissible hours. You can only set off fireworks from 9 to 1 a.m. In the rest of the Matsu Borough, fireworks can be used between 6 p.m. New Year's Eve and 1 a.m. January 1st, as long as they're used 1,250 feet from any healthcare facilities, assisted living facilities.
You think this is more like the fire marshal?
Dude, the ground's frozen.
I know.
How you start a fire?
Maybe they're gonna think they're gonna light them inside because it's too cold.
Maybe. I can see a law saying you may not set off major fireworks in your living room. I would say that would be sensible. We're living on an iceberg right now.
Yeah, it's like don't pour gas on your floor and light it on fire either. How far do you got to go?
Sparkler. A sparkler. I'll tell you what, we're doing a show tomorrow, right?
Heck yeah, the New Year's Eve show.
You know what I may do?
Huh.
I may drive out to Houston today.
Yeah.
And buy me a bunch of sparklers.
Ooh.
and just have them lit the whole show tomorrow out of rebellion for this out of control government.
There you
And
go.
let's see if they come get me.
We'll put on our own fireworks show.
We just may do that.
It's dark.
Why don't you and I have a bottle rocket war?
We'll do it right here. We can shoot it out the window.
Would you have a bottle rocket war with me?
Yeah.
What we need to do is get Glen's 9 kids over here.
Oh yeah.
And that would be a fun war.
We used to have BB gun wars too.
Yeah, see, we never did that.
Yeah, my brother shot me right between the eyes.
Yeah, see, that would hurt.
Well, the deal was waist down, and he just was a bad aim.
That's like the worst.
Now he's
That's
a
like
cop.
the worst thing, the waist down.
Well, he's a BB gun. You're wearing jeans. It ain't that bad. It was not a big, powerful BB guns.
Yeah, we were never allowed to shoot our BB guns at other people.
We weren't either. So
that seems a little. I might have to outlaw that one.
Okay.
It's all fun till you put an eye out.
So no more BB guns.
Well, not at each other. No, you can keep the BB gun, but
Well, how are you gonna know they're not shooting at each other? You
Well,
might as well just ban them.
no, you have to ban them. But just like if you shoot a regular gun at a person,
You're practicing safety.
you're gonna get in trouble for it.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing with the fireworks. They should practice safety.
So honestly, Brian, what's the worst thing that can happen from a sparkler?
A sparkler could light a house on fire
How?
and kill people sleeping in it. I don't know. You could see this foam right here. I bet if
Yeah.
you put a sparkler next to that, it could go up.
I don't think sparklers emit that much of fire.
Depends
They're
on what you
sparkles.
hit. I mean, there's a spark. You know,
If you had a big tub of gas
and dry hay.
and you in dry hay and you held the sparkler to the dry gas and the hay,
Yeah.
or let's say gas soaked hay,
Yes.
and you probably eventually could cause that to catch
Yeah,
on
you
fire.
can do that.
But a lighter, a match,
Yeah.
anything would be comparable to
A
that.
cigarette.
A cigarette, a cigar,
That's not out. Yep.
a sparkler.
That's going too far. To put sparkler in there.
I will do this. I'm not gonna go buy sparklers because I don't want to go to jail.
You won't go to jail
Well, I'll pay $500.
if they catch you.
Yeah. But I am going to find out. I'm going to find this ordinance. I'm going to find out who suggested the sparkler be outlawed.
There you go.
And I want to make it very clear. I don't think that in and of itself is egregious alone. I think the fact that you can't shoot fireworks in your backyard is egregious. This is America. You own your property. You own it. You live there. You want to put off some bottle rockets? You should have every freedom to do so. You want to go out in your front yard in the street, shoot off fireworks? Every freedom to do so. Fireworks is the fabric of this country. I'm sure if you were to say to people in the 50s, someday fireworks will be illegal, they'd say, what? Yeah, right. And I guess they won't let you smoke cigars in bars too, right?
Well, and a lot of it's because the guy next door can't do it in the proper manner. He's doing it at 3 a.m., waking everybody up, you know? And so now they have to have all these rules.
Well, I don't have a problem with saying 1 in the morning you stop shooting fireworks off, or 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's sensible. But to say, because look, what percentage of people, Brian, who shoot off fireworks are uninjured?
I'd say the majority.
99%?
A major majority, yeah. I've shot them off a lot of times. I've never been injured or seen anybody
And
injured.
we've been in bottle rocket wars.
Yep.
We're shooting them at each other. We aren't injured.
I did burn part of a coat.
No. You can get another coat.
Yeah, that was it.
Sparklers are illegal in Anchorage. That's the city you live in, ladies and gentlemen. 569-1080. I'd like to hear from you, your thought on it. 569-1080. Give us a call. Let us know. Should fireworks be illegal? Should sparklers be illegal? Is this still America? That's my question. Is this still America? 729.
basis. Economists were looking for prices to come in unchanged. Year over year, the 20-city index was up 4.5%, coming in a bit stronger than expected. Separately, consumer confidence rose in December from November. The Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index climbed about 1.5 points, but still missed the forecast. And shares of Civeo are plunging after the company said it's slashing spending and suspending its quarterly dividend. Civeo, which provides housing for oil field workers, also issued a disappointing revenue outlook for the full year based on oil prices. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jolene Kent.
This holiday season, give the most eternal, unique gift of the year. Name a star after someone. I'm Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, we'll name a star after anyone on your gift list. The star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office, and we will send an incredible personalized gift package. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com for the gift that shines forever.
With KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. Public forum has been set for January 15th in the Mat-Su-Borough Assembly chambers to discuss the legal and other issues surrounding marijuana. Voters decided on November 4th to make Alaska the fourth state to legalize pot, but it may be several months into 2015 before it's fully implemented. As Ann Kenda explains, Anchorage is on track to set a temperature record this year.
For the first time since records were kept, Anchorage will not have recorded a single day in a calendar year where temperatures fell below 0 degrees. The same cannot be said of the lower 48, where a number of states had multiple sub-zero days. The official temperature hasn't dipped below 0 in Anchorage since December 26, 2013.
Finally, after years of debate, Bethel is ending subsidized water and sewer rates on New Year's Day. Residents see their bills go up by as much as 36%. That's your Hot Talk News update.
Today will be rather cloudy with a high 37, then remaining cloudy tonight with a couple of showers around before. Temperatures fall below freezing. We'll have a low tonight of 28. For New Year's Eve tomorrow, snow much of the time accumulating 2 to 4 inches with a high 34, then a rather cloudy night, low 23. For New Year's Day, mostly cloudy skies, high of 28. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Grab your skis, wax your board, and hit the slopes. Alyeska Resort is open with limited terrain and hours. Check out their website, alyeskaresort.com, for all things mountain. Now that the mountain is open, that means that the Sitzmark is the place to be. Open every day with no terrain limits. Make it a mountainous New Year's Eve celebration this year at the Sitzmark. Party to the sounds of Wasteland Hop. Then January 2nd and 3rd, see the greatest jam band to ever come through Alaska, Leftover Salmon. PBR specials all week long. Tuesday, absolute trivia nights with $100 up. More information. Sponsored by Absolute Vodka, PBR, and the Odom Corporation. Alaskans serving Alaskans for 80 years. Always live responsibly.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player.
An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian.
A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything. From auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Do you remember that Beatles song? If the rain comes, they'll run and hide their heads. You know which one I'm talking about. Well, if that's you, and you're inside your home or office, it's time to call Earhart Roofing. Call Earhart Roofing for all your roofing needs. Flat or pitched, large or small, Earhart Roofing will do the job quickly, and they'll do it right. Earhart Roofing, big enough to serve you, and still small enough to care. Call 345-5555. That's 345-5555.
Interest rates are still very low in comparison to previous loan rates. Now is the time to take advantage of this uncommon phenomenon. We will look back at this period as a golden opportunity to buy or sell. Homeowners planning to sell should call us at 244-0821. We will be happy to come out and do a comparative market analysis.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
Hot Talk KOAN, man.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080.
$7:36 here on the 30th day of December, New Year's Eve. Welcome to the broadcast. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel is off. He will return next week. Our number 569-1080. 569-1080. We're streaming live on danfagan.us. And we, of course, are broadcasting on FM 95.1 in Anchorage, FM 92.5 in the Valley, AM 1080 in Anchorage, and AM 1020 in the Valley. I'm just startled and shocked sometimes at how far the nanny state will go. You always hear these news stories. Like I remember I had 4 or 5, 6 years ago, I was talking to a friend who wanted to put up a kind of a canopy in his backyard. And it was at a certain size, and he had to actually get a permit from the city. A little canopy, to kind of cover just for the summer. And he discovered that he had to get a permit from the city to put up a canopy in his own backyard. I couldn't believe it. Basically like a tent. And the government, the problem with the government is you get bureaucrats who have to justify their position. And you get legislators or assembly members, in our case in Anchorage, who feel as though they have to create new laws to justify who being in office. So we're constantly learning about new things that just really make no sense. And I totally disagree with the idea that you cannot shoot off fireworks on New Year's Eve in Anchorage. I just could not more disagree with the policy. But to show how insane this policy is, it's not just fireworks. You're not even allowed to have sparklers. Now, anyone over the age of 15 knows what a sparkler is, because really, when you are very young, your older brothers and sisters got to play with the fireworks, you were handled a sparkler. I probably had a sparkler when I was 4 years old. And in some clown town, bureaucrat politician in Anchorage decided that sparklers are too dangerous and you cannot have them on New Year's Eve. Honestly? Now, this is a microcosm of what government's all about these days. It's not about the sparkler, ladies and gentlemen. It's about the brain who decided you can't be trusted with one. Now, I'm pretty confident the most incompetent, lame-brained, idiotic person I know can handle a sparkler. I don't care how goofy you are. I'm pretty sure you can handle a sparkler and not injure yourself or others. But yet someone in government said to themselves that sparklers, we cannot trust the people of Anchorage with sparklers. Every single person listening to my voice should be outraged over that. That your government would have so little confidence in you, would play you for such a fool that they think you could not handle a sparkler. A sparkler. You know what I'm talking about. If you don't Google it, it's a little stick that you light on the top, and it sparkles as it burns down to the... It's really almost like an incense thing that pot smokers use. There's just nothing to it. I would like to hear from you. Am I alone? Am I exaggerating here? Am I making too big a deal out of the fact that the government says to you, the individual, you may not have a sparkler on New Year's Eve if you live in Anchorage? Let me know. I may be blowing this out of proportion. Maybe this is nothing. I think it's a big, hairy deal. 569-1080. 569-1080. Give me a call. Let me know. Am I off on this? No sparklers for you? What's next? Birthday candles and birthday cakes? 569-1080. Give me a call. Let me know. 569-1080. Let's go to Joe. Joe, you're on.
Thank you, Dan. Happy holidays to you, and the best new year ever.
Right back at you, Joe.
Oh, thank you. And I see that there's certain advantages to going solo on the as a host on the radio station. You get to open up a little bit.
Well, it's a sparkler.
And about the sparklers, we're going to get to that. But with population growth, socialism comes with population growth. But they should not have picked sparklers as the thing that's bad. What's bad is the bang bang, the things that blow up and scare people's dogs. I got a couple dogs, and I don't know about the little one because I just got him from the pound. But the other one, every single New Year's, she ends up trying to wedge her way under the bed. She is just shaking, and bottle rockets and firecrackers going off all over the neighborhood. And sometimes I think she's going to have a heart attack or something, because a dog is an extension of a person, and that if you do something that harms them, you're harming the person. So I could see in a city where fireworks should be banned, especially the blow-up things. Now, a sparkler, you're right, man. That is the goofiest thing I ever heard of, is banning a sparkler.
Well, Joe,
that thing doesn't blow up.
I disagree with you on the fireworks ban. Look, I had a dog for many. I've always had a dog. I love dogs. I'm a very big dog person.
You got one now?
But, no, I don't. I haven't had one in.
Why don't you go run down town and get one?
Yeah, well, I just don't have the lifestyle that would allow me to own one right now. But
right,
the bottom line is, dogs are scared of their shadow. Dogs get scared at a doorbell, the mailman. We can't take away people's freedom to celebrate the new year because dogs are afraid. It's just, it makes no sense to me. And I understand that dogs do get scared, but they're there with their masters. They're there with their family. They'll be okay. My dog used to get scared at the fireworks too. It's just part of life.
They think it's a war going on.
Well, I don't really know that dogs know what war is.
And you know, there's some preachers now that are saying that dogs have a soul.
Yeah, well, I don't. That's way above my pay grade. Yeah. But I just don't think we can take away our ability to celebrate fireworks in a freedom-loving country.
That's right, and I'm kind of with you there. Like I said, except for the big blow-up things and the M8, those you can't even buy those anymore.
Yeah.
But those used to be my favorites: M80s and cherry bombs.
Yeah.
And cherry bombs, you could put get a wrist rocket slingshot,
Yeah.
and light that, and then tilt it up, pull that.
Hey, Joe, I appreciate your call. 569-1080, 569-1080. Let's go to John. John, you're on.
Morning, Dan.
Hey, John.
I agree with you. I think it's ridiculous, and as far as the gentleman there with the dogs, I understand that. But again, people take their dogs out hunting.
Sure.
And they're used to, they train them. They train their dogs to, when they're puppies.
Yep.
To take them out and shoot off some guns and get them slowly acclimated to that. But no, and the other side of that coin is everybody.
Hey, John, hold on a second. I'm right against the break. Stay with us, though. We'll be right back. hold on a second. I gotta.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Give them a call. 569-1080. KOAN.
Being a business owner isn't easy. There's managing people, customers, income, expenses, unexpected issues, growing your brand, and so much more. Ready to be more efficient in everything you do? Then listen to Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt. Each week, David gives you the inside scoop on the latest business news and trends, along with tools for keeping your business on track. Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt. Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. on Hot Talk, KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 a.m.
Isn't it just amazing how many of these ancient Alaskan traditions one runs into? I, for instance, have discovered it is also an ancient Alaskan tradition to serve Alaska king crab and mandarin white prawns for dinner, not only at Christmas, but also on New Year's Eve. So naturally, crab and prawns are exactly what New Sagayan City Market are featuring as specials right now as we draw closer to the new year. Alaska Golden King crab clusters, just the legs and claws, only the parts you like best. Right now, just $15.95 a pound at New Sagayan City Market. And large white prawns, prized, it is said, by Chinese emperors, are just $9.99 a pound this week. Oh, those large, crisp Shingo pears are fast becoming a traditional food as well. Sweet and juicy Shingo pears are special this week at New Sagayan City Market, $6.99 a piece. However, they're so large, it might be advisable to bring a bigger gunny sack. From the butcher shop, it's fresh ground pork, makes glorious hamburgers, just $3.99 a pound. Happy New Year from New Sagayan Midtown and City Market, 13th and I.
It's not just Dennis Prager. It's Dennis Prager.
Special treat, folks. We have secured Dennis Prager. He will be on the line, live, and in person. Dennis Prager. That's right, uninterrupted. We'll just be having Dennis Prager, one of my favorite guests. In fact, the only place you can ever hear Dennis Prager is on the Dennis Prager Show. So, don't forget, Dennis Prager on the next Dennis Prager Show.
Weekday mornings beginning at 9 on Hot Talk KOAN. You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN.
All right, 7:47. We're talking with John. Sorry we had to cut you off there, John. We had a break. We're talking about this fireworks ban, and just for other folks who want to weigh in on 569-1080. You were saying you agree with me. You think it's not a good idea to ban fireworks in Anchorage?
No, I don't think it's a good idea. I thought it was nice that Dick Cheney that one year made it so that people could do fireworks until a certain time, was it 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
Yeah.
The bottom line is people are still going to go out of town, load up on fireworks, and I know plenty of police officers, and I've asked them, what's the deal? And they go, we got too many other things to do.
Yes.
We're not going to waste our time on fireworks.
Good. Yeah,
so,
well, you got a lot of drunk drivers, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Unless you're standing on the street corner throwing, bottle rockets into the middle of the street, they're not going to bother.
So was it was Cheney who tried to get where that we could at least do it on New Year's Eve. He was trying to get rid of the ban for at least partially.
They did a test. That what was that? A couple, 3 or 4 years back.
Yeah.
They did a test, and Cheney was the one who facilitated that and backed it, and said, let's just let's open it up this year.
Right.
And see see if they have 15 kids coming in with their hands blown off or whatever, and
right.
There was nothing major happened. You got your standard little kids burning their hands with a firecracker, but that's going to go on anyway. But yeah, that's Cheney was the one who backed that.
What would you say to the previous caller who said, what about all the dogs who get scared and hide under the beds? Should we ban fireworks because of the little doggies?
No. Matter of fact, my neighbor is a very big dog person, and the previous year I had launched fireworks, and when Cheney said, go ahead, you guys go ahead and do your fireworks, the neighbor came over to me the following year, and he says, hey, you guys going to be doing fireworks this year because I just bought a new puppy. He's a hunting dog.
Yeah.
And I don't want to train him my way. Just let me know so that I can put him in an inner room in the house.
Yeah.
And keep him, because listen, have you listened to this town on New Year's Eve?
Oh, Lots of fireworks. Well, that's the whole point.
Range, you know?
Nobody follows this law, right?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, you take that away, and it's just like anything else. They go, oh, really? Watch me. I'm going to go out and buy an extra $100 worth just because you say I can't do it.
What does it say about the state of the nanny state that some government official, some politician decided not only were they going to ban fireworks, but they were going to ban sparklers in Anchorage? What does that say about the average nanny state here, or the condition of the nanny state?
Well, they want to control.
Yeah.
They want to manipulate and control and govern and take away all those freedoms. And the bottom line is, I've heard a talk show host on TV that said, change doesn't happen until people protest.
Yes.
So, and peaceful protest.
Sure.
Get out there if you have a belief.
Yeah.
Get out there as a group and let your opinion be heard.
Well, let me ask you. It's too late to do it this year, but I'll ask you now, a year in advance. If a year from now we organize a legalized sparkler protest at City Hall, will you participate?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, maybe we'll do that. Maybe this time next year we'll go down to City Hall like a couple days for New Year's, and maybe 200, 300, 400 of us will go down there and just have our sparklers and dare the cops to arrest us.
They'll be too busy doing other things, I assure you.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Dan.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye. People say, oh, Dan, stop getting your panties in the water over sparklers being illegal. I'm telling you, folks, this is a microcosm of what's going on in our country today. Listen, I don't smoke cigars much anymore. It's been many, many weeks since I've smoked a cigar. But I'm not going to say I'll never smoke one again. I enjoy them very much. The idea that I could not walk into a bar and legally smoke a cigar, it's just absolutely unbelievable to me. Cigar smoking, which is legal, the owner of the bar says, yes, I would like people to smoke cigars in my bar. The patrons of the bar, they know going in it's a bar, there'll be smoke there. But the government steps in and says, no, we're going to protect you from yourself. We're going to protect the bar patrons from themselves. We're going to protect the bar owner from themselves. And we're going to tell you how to live your life. That is a slippery slope that will have consequences that will have our head spinning. If they will tell you that you can't be trusted with fireworks, or you can't even be trusted with a sparkler, what's next? I used to ride my bicycle like a crazy person when I was a kid. Never once had a helmet. Never once. I remember there was a move by the Assembly. I don't remember, it was Sheila Selcraig or Janet something. Some guy who represented the Hillside wanted to make it illegal for you to ride a bike without a helmet. Are you kidding me? Where does it end? Look at what Michelle Obama's trying to do with food. Trying to determine what kids eat. Kids are just throwing the stuff in the trash. What's next? Bloomberg in New York. No more big gulps. Are you kidding me? A big gulp? A soda? We're legalizing pot and outlawing sodas? What's next? It's not the issue that's the issue. It's the move to take away our freedom. It's the never ending, and it never ends. That's the thing. It never ends. Those on the left who want to control will never stop wanting to control. And they'll never be satisfied until they have total control. I'm not kidding about that. You say, well, Dan, that's just unfounded. It's not unfounded. As you centralize power in a society, that centralization of power is insatiable, because those who have power want to continue to centralize it, because as they centralize it, their power grows. And eventually you have a tyrant and a dictator. That's where we're heading. This is the battle of our lifetimes. It's no small thing that the government says to you, you cannot have a sparkler on New Year's Eve. That is no small thing. It illustrates perfectly the lack of trust the control crowd has. And those of us on the freedom side of the equation, we should be outraged. This cannot be a kind of thing where we just say, oh, well. Here, look, folks, listen to me. You know the price that was paid for our freedom in blood? Do you have any idea the men and women in uniform throughout the history of this country, the price they paid for our freedom? I'm talking all the way back to the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korean War, Cold War, the price that was paid. And now here we are in 2014, 2015. Oh, you want some more freedom? Here it is. Here it is. Here you go. Yeah, that's fine. You don't think I can be trusted to have a sparkler? Okay. That's no big deal. What else do you want? I have to wear a bicycle helmet? Okay, here you go. I'll put it on. I can't smoke a cigar in a bar? Okay. What else you want? I blame those of us who understand freedom and the value of it for our passivity more than I blame the control crowd. The control crowd, they're doing what they think's right. You can't trust people. We're going to take away their freedom. That's their mission in life. It's their goal. It's what they're trying to do. They're unabashed about it. They're just going to do it. And that's what they're all about. But those of us who understand how precious and valuable freedom is, we sit back and we say nothing. And we just let them take away freedom inch by inch by inch. I blame us. Every time a politician wants to take away your freedom, I don't care what the measure is, I don't care what the bill is, we need to take note. And of course, the Democratic Party is much worse on this issue than the Republican, although the Republican Party can be just as bad at times. It's the government politician who all of a sudden realizes he or she has all of this power, and they must use it to protect people from themselves. It's comfort and security over freedom. We want people to have a comfortable life, free of consequences, but less free. And they are operating with impunity. And we sit back and twiddle our thumbs. A sparkler! You can't legally light a sparkler in Anchorage. $569-1080. 569-1080. That's the number. Give us a call. 569-1080. That's the number. Give us a call.
Best Split Firewood can deliver split firewood to your house today. And if you live in Anchorage, delivery is free. Wait, what did I just say? Delivery is free if you live in Anchorage. Wow, that's cool. Okay, back to the commercial. Best Split Firewood. Call now, 727-5928. That's 727-5928 and get 2 bundles of starter sticks with your order. Hold on, 2 bundles of starter sticks and free delivery in Anchorage? That's way cool. Best Split Firewood will deliver mostly all birch split and ready for your fireplace or wood stove, no matter how much you need, a quarter, half, or full cord. They have the best firewood in the city, and they'll even mix in some spruce if you ask for it. And don't worry if you just need a couple of bundles. Best Split Firewood has them wrapped and ready to go at half of what you would pay anywhere else in the city. Best Split Firewood. Call today for free delivery in Anchorage and 2 bundles of starter sticks. 727-5928. That's 727-5928.
Visit their new location at 2000 East 68th Avenue.
Hot talk all day. Hot talk every day. 95.1 FM, 1080 AM. KOAN, Anchorage.
Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. A deadly police shooting in Missouri that killed a black teenager the night before Christmas Eve, sparking more protests near Ferguson, was justified. That's what an investigation concludes. Fox News Radio's Jeff Manasso details it live.
Police in Berkeley, Missouri had said that surveillance footage would confirm that 18-year-old Antonio Martin, a black man, was shot and killed by a white police officer after Martin pulled a gun in a convenience store parking lot. That gun since recovered. The shooting led to demonstrations and destruction there and to an independent investigation, which now shows
Mr. Martin did attempt to fire when he put a weapon on the officer.
Berkeley Police Chief Frank McCall says witnesses back the story and that demonstrators who caused property damage who've been identified are also being booked and charged. Dave.
Jeff, in New York City, the mayor is going to try to clear the air today, meeting with police unions. They've said he's fostered an anti-police atmosphere in the city. Grieving loved ones in Indonesia will tomorrow start the nightmarish task of identifying their loved ones from the AirAsia flight that crashed Sunday. Bodies and wreckage were found floating at sea today.
We will not run away from any of our obligations or hide behind any conventions. We will be there for the families.
AirAsia CEO Tony Fernandez. The plane went down in bad weather. Just ahead of year 2 of Obamacare health coverage, we find out more enrollees are getting help paying for it. Fox News Radio's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, nearly 6.5 million people have signed up for a health care plan under Obamacare since open enrollment began around 6 weeks ago. The Health and Human Services Department says the vast majority of enrollees, around 87%, were eligible for financial assistance to lower their monthly premiums. That's up from 80% a year ago. Many of the sign-ups were automatic renewals from last year. The Obama administration set a goal of 9 million plus enrollees by the February 15th deadline. Dave.
Regional House Speaker John Boehner says Congressman Michael Grimm made the right decision to resign after the New York Republican pleaded guilty last week to tax evasion. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
As a retired teacher, I look for ways to save money for the things I love, like traveling the world. Medicare plans change each year. Fortunately, my Health Mart pharmacist helped me understand my insurance, saving me money on prescriptions. And they can help you too. My pharmacist cares about my health and the things I love, whatever that might be.
Health Mart, caring for you and about you. Visit healthmart.com for the locally owned pharmacy near you.
Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost you thousands. The Quicken Loans PMI Advantage is our lender-paid mortgage insurance program. You see, we pay the PMI so you don't have to. PMI Advantage can give you more options, more flexibility, and may save you thousands when you refinance. To learn more, call us at 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN, or visit us at QuickenLoans.com.
Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender licensed all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
Authorities in Italy.
As you receive your PFD application this year, please consider donating to the Fraternal Order of Alaska State Troopers through Pick, Click, Give. We're the Law Enforcement Museum. We're preserving your history. We're the Safety Bear Reflector Program. We're keeping Alaska's children safe. Help us continue to make a difference with your support through Pick, Click, Give.
Alaska Legal Services assures fairness for all in the justice system, regardless of how much money you have. With 11 offices statewide, we provide legal help to thousands of Alaskans each year, protecting their livelihoods, their health, and their families. Please select Alaska Legal Services when you pick, click, give.
We all start out small, and we can all grow up to achieve big things. Alaska Children's Trust encourages you to take small steps that can make a big difference. Pick, click, give to Alaska Children's Trust and help kids grow up safe and healthy so they can realize their biggest dreams. Start small, dream big. Pick, click, give to Alaska Children's Trust.
The Alaskan Defender of Family, Firearms, and the Freedom of Speech, Eddie Burke.
I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care who you're married to. I don't care what goes on in your private life. The only thing I care about is how you're going to vote, because that's the only thing that affects me.
Eddie Burke and Friends on Hot Talk, KOAN, 95.1 FM, 1080 AM.
When I grew up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything. From auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Why is A&A The Shop Alaska's independent Subaru specialist? How is it they've been voted the best shop in Anchorage not once but 6 times? Well, it's pretty simple. They offer the best warranty in the business. If they work on your Subaru, you're going to get a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on both parts and labor. That's unheard of. A&A The Shop deals exclusively with Subarus, and they also offer $35 oil changes. All their technicians are ASE certified. Call A&A The Shop for an appointment. 562-3919 in Anchorage and 696-2096 in Eagle River.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give them a call, 569-1080. KOAN.
Good morning. 6 minutes past 8 o'clock. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel is off on KOAN, KVNT. Streaming live video and audio, danfagan.us. Email me, danfaganshow@icloud.com, danfaganshow@icloud.com. Call us, 569-1080. Our good friend Mike Daniels, who heads up Country Financial in Alaska. There are 13 Country Financial locations in the state of Alaska, so there's plenty of access. 5 in Anchorage, 5 in the Valley. If you go see a country representative, here's the first thing you're going to realize. 10 minutes into the meeting, you're going to realize that while these people really know their stuff when it comes to financial planning, when it comes to planning for retirement, when it comes to insurance, making sure you're adequately insured. You work hard, you play by the rules, you do everything you can to plan for a healthy and successful and worry-free retirement. You want to have a nest egg, not only for yourself, but for your next generation. And the folks at Country Financial will assist you in that in a way you'd never dream possible. Why go at it alone when there are people at Country Financial, Mike Daniels and his team, that have dedicated their lives to understanding financial planning? Why not avail yourself of their wisdom and insight? Country Financial, make an appointment. Here's the number, 866-COUNTRY. 866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Our number, 569-1080. Every conservative's favorite guy, Jonathan Gruber. There's more stuff that's come out on him. You remember Gruber said that the Obamacare plan was predicated on the American people's stupidity. They wouldn't realize they were pulling one over on us. Well, now they found an October 2009 policy brief at the beginning of the planning of Obamacare, in which Mr. Gruber says that the plan will not be affordable. There are no cost controls, and it would work. This is October 2009. At the time, Gruber had already personally counseled Obama in the Oval Office, served on Obama's presidential transition team. Even with this Gruber memo, Obama still told the American people premiums would go down. Of course, they have not. Here's what Gruber said in a memo, October 2nd, 2009. The problem is it starts to go hand in hand with the mandate. You can't mandate insurance that's not affordable. This is going to be a major issue, Gruber said. What's different this time? We are closer than ever before. Why are we closer than ever before? Question mark. Because there are no cost controls in these proposals. Because the bill's about coverage, which is good. Why should we hold 48 million uninsured people hostage to the fact that we don't yet know how to control costs in a politically acceptable way. Let's get the people covered, and then we'll do the cost control. Can you believe that? Let's just do it and worry about how it'll work later. It's like Nancy Pelosi. We'll pass the bill to know what's in it. But here's the key, folks, and I want you to hear this. This is very big. Gruber also said the only way to control costs, are you ready, is to effectively deny treatment. Now, we've known this from the beginning, that Obamacare is about rationing care. You cannot add layers and layers and layers and layers of bureaucracy to the healthcare system, take away choice, take away competition, expect prices to go down. They will not. The only way the prices will go down is if you take care of fewer people. And who will those people be? It'll be the elderly. It'll be those whose lives are at the stage where some panel will determine that the coverage that they need, because of their age, they do not deserve. I would not want to be in my 90s with Obamacare in full bloom. Sarah Palin, of all the things Sarah Palin has done in her life, much of it not so good, some of it good. Of all the things she has done in her life, she has had the courage to come out and call Obama on the death panels, because that's at the heart of Obamacare. Rationing care for the most feeble among us. Now, Gruber's basically saying it. The only way to control costs is to effectively deny treatment. Here's his next quote. The real substance of cost control is all about a single thing: telling patients they cannot have something they want. It's about telling patients that surgery doesn't do any good, so if you want to have it, you have to pay the full cost. Of course, no one can pay $120,000 for an operation, if not $250,000. There's no reason the American healthcare system can't be, you can have whatever you want, you just have to pay for it. That's what we do in other walks of life, Gruber said. We don't say everyone has to have a large screen TV. If you want a large screen TV, you have to pay for it. Basically, the notion would be to move to a level where everyone has a solid basic insurance level of coverage. Above that, people pay on their own without tax-subsidized dollars to buy a higher level of coverage. The whole reason you buy insurance is to cover you when you're elderly and you're going to need extensive health care. But Obamacare says that no longer is in play. That if you are elderly and feeble and at the end of your life, if you want to extend your life, sorry. Because the government now controls the insurance industry. And the government says your life is not worth it, you're too old. How another person over the age of 60 would ever vote for a Democrat is beyond me. Despite the president's pitches to the contrary, Obama also knew that his health care bill was unlikely to control costs, Gruber said. Gruber said on a San Francisco podcast in 2012, I wish that President Obama could have stood up and said, I don't know if this bill is going to control costs. It might not. We're doing our best, but let me tell you what it's going to do. If he could have made that speech, Gruber said, instead he's going to say, I'm going to pass a bill that will lower your health care costs. That sells. Now I wish the world was different. I wish people cared about the 50 million uninsured in America. But they don't. And I think, once again, I'm amazed politically that we got this bill through. That Gruber guy, I like him. He's honest. He's a scoundrel, but he's honest. And he's exposed our commander-in-chief for the fraud that he is. 569-1080. 569-1080. It's 8:14. 80. It's 814.
Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
For more information on this event, please visit AnchorageDowntown.org or call 907-279-5650. Brought to you by Anchorage Downtown Partnership, Visit Anchorage, the Alaska Railroad, Linden Transport, and Alaska Integrated Media.
The dreaded vending machine. You stand before it, tasked with the ultimate decision. Decade-old donuts at B7 or empty calories at E4. Yummy. Let Walmart's low prices help you snack smarter with 5.3-ounce Oikos 000 Greek yogurt for $1 and 4 packs of Light and Fit protein shakes on rollback for $5. Smart Snacker 1, vending machine 0. Start strong, save big. Walmart.
CRV deposit fee and tax may apply.
Hi, this is Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company. Sellers, if you are going to sell your home, now may very well be the best time. The current interest rates are still very low in comparison to previous loan rates. Now is the time to take advantage of this uncommon phenomenon. We will look back at this period as a golden opportunity to buy or sell. Homeowners planning to sell should call us at 244-0821. We will be happy to come out and do a comparative market analysis at your convenience. Call Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company, 244-0821. That's 244-0821.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080KOAN.com.
$8:17. Good morning to you on the 30th day of December, 2014. One day left in the year after today. You listen to Dan Fagan. Glen Biegel's off today. He will be back next week. Glad you found us. Glad you're here. Our number 569-1080, 569-1080. I want to tell you about our good friends, Frankie and Becky Earhart over at Earhart Roofing. They've been in business a long time, 42 years. They have 60 employees, 17 trucks. They're a really big deal in the roofing industry. And here's why they're so successful. The Earharts will offer you a 50-year warranty on the roof that they repair for you or install for you. 50 years. Whether it's industrial, commercial, or residential, you got a 50-year warranty. I've never heard of that. They're always the lowest bidder. Earhart Roofing, living the American dream, providing great quality to their customers, enjoying great success as a result of it. Here's how you give them a call and set up an appointment. 345-5555. 345-5555. I am optimistic, even though the welfare state is out of control and it has exploded in growth and it is unsustainable. For that very reason, I'm optimistic. The old saying by Margaret Thatcher, which we all love, former Prime Minister of Great Britain, the problem with socialism is you eventually run out of other people's money. And here's a perfect example. Michigan, which is a state that has been run by the left and the labor unions for decades, it's absolutely in turmoil. They currently have 1,679,421 people on food stamps in Michigan. The state's total pupil count for K through 12 is 1,564,114. There are more people on food stamps in Michigan than in schools. That's unbelievable. Michigan's food stamp program has struggled to combat fraud and abuse. As recently as last week, 3 brothers pled guilty for their role in a food stamp fraud scheme in the Middle Eastern market in Grand Rapids, Michigan, that cost taxpayers $1,278,700. Michigan's food stamp program this year, in 2014, here's how much it costs the state. And folks, I'm telling you, this number is so astounding. You can't put words on it. This is the amount of money Michigan spent on food stamps in 2014. Are you ready? I'm going to read you every single number in this number. Every single digit in this number. Here it is. $2,576,165,148. 1 year. Now you say, Dan, why are you optimistic? How could? Because it's not going to continue. You cannot spend $2.5 billion per state on feeding people who could, most of them, feed themselves. Now, this does not include the free school lunches, the free rent, the free cell phone, the free heating, the free education. It's not sustainable. Michigan is so bankrupt as it is right now with such huge deficits. And spent $2.5 billion. So what has happened in one of the most liberal states in the nation? Michigan has announced plans to begin drug testing some welfare recipients. That's huge. But they have no other choice. They cannot sustain $2.5 billion in payments to people in the way of food every year. I would imagine once they start drug testing these welfare recipients, that $2.5 billion is going to just shrink incredibly. I'm not saying everybody in the welfare state is on drugs, but I guarantee you a lot of them are. You see, this is my point. Even a leftist-run state like Michigan is beginning to adopt conservative values because they cannot continue in the path they're on. That's the good news. That's wherein lies the hope. Most conservatives would say, yes, by all means, drug test welfare recipients. I would not only say drug test them, I would say, as a welfare recipient, you must prove that you went on 3 job interviews per week every time you get a benefit check. And you have to prove that you didn't get the job. Enough with the giving away of other people's money. But the beauty of it is, folks, the conservative ideas and philosophies that we promote and we believe are the salvation of this nation, they will be forced into play because states and cities and even the federal government will not be able to continue the path of growing and exploding the welfare state because they're running out of other people's money. That's the good news. $2.5 billion in free food in one state? How much $1 billion? How much food $2.5 billion can buy? So I'm optimistic. I'm not one of these, we're going to hell in a handbasket. Our country's falling apart. We got problems, but I believe that the problems are so big that they're going to force solutions. 569-1080, 569-1080. It's like the guy who smokes realizes he gets lung cancer, well, he quits smoking. And then, hopefully, chemo and all that stuff gets rid of the cancer and the rest of his life is fine. Same with people who are excessively overweight. They get conditioned with the heart. They start eating right. They lose weight, and the rest of their life's fine. I believe that's going to happen with our country. That we're going to be forced into adopting solutions because our lifestyle as a nation and a state and as a city, it's not sustainable. Same as an alcoholic. Spend their whole life drinking. All of a sudden, they lose their job, they lose their family. They realize, you know what? I better stop drinking. That's what I believe is going to happen. I believe this country is going to reach a point. It's going to reach a point where we just can't continue this nonsense. Everybody doesn't get a free cell phone. Everybody doesn't get $1 a month cell phone bill. So I'm optimistic. I'm excited about the future of this nation. I am. I think that we still, the soul of this country, most people living here, we are freedom-loving people. We are more than willing to pay our own way. We're more than willing to make our own way and to sacrifice and to work hard and do what we have to do to make a good life for us and our families. And it's really just the politicians, mostly on the left, not all, but some, that believe that they have to take away the consequences of bad decision makers by creating this nanny state and this welfare state. And they're misguided. They think they mean well, but they're misguided. And it's just not sustainable. If you were ever going to take hope in any statement ever, it'd be the problem of socialism. You eventually run out of other people's money. Now the problem is, in Greece, remember Greece, what was it, 2-3 years ago, they were rioting in the streets because the government literally did run out of money, and Greece was one of the biggest welfare countries in the nation, on the globe. And the people ran out and started burning cars and tearing up businesses because the promise that they had lived their whole life under, which was the government would always take care of them, ended up being a lie because Greece had no more money. And so all the free stuff that the Grecians were able to get through the decades, they didn't get it anymore. And so people rioted because they had been lied to, because that's what the politicians had promised them. Now, Europe bailed out Greece, but things have not gotten better because the same leftists who were in charge were still in charge. Well, now they just elected a hardcore leftist as the head of Greece. And the European Union has already said the next time we're not bailing you out. You're not going to change your policies. We're not going to help you. So we could probably expect Greece to deteriorate into a downward spiral economy-wise that is just going to be awful. And it's going to take away freedom, and it's going to probably lead to a more powerful government, and you're going to probably see the potential for a tyrant or a dictator to come in there. That's how Hitler took power in Germany. Germany's economy was in ruin, and it's easy for someone to come in and promise security and comfort over freedom. When people are desperate and hungry and have no way of getting jobs and no way of feeding themselves, they will take any solution at that point. So there is a risk here in the United States of America, as we continue these policies of giving free stuff to everyone, that our economy could crash, and instead of choosing freedom over comfort and security, we want more comfort and security. We will make the way for a despot and a tyrant. I personally believe that the American people would reject that, and they would not go the way of the Grecians. Simply because of the foundation of this country and who we are as a people. We are a people who have embraced and cherished and valued freedom through the decades. Our lineage, our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers, they all embraced the notion of hard work, individuality, self-reliance, and freedom. And that fabric, which is so strong in our country, I believe will end up saving us. That's my belief. That's my hope. I hope I'm not wrong. Because this is the greatest country in the history of mankind, and it would be an awful shame if we went the wrong way. I can't imagine this globe without the United States of America being strong. 569-1080, 569-1080. That's the number. If you'd like to join the broadcast, we're on KOAN, KVNT. Email me, danfaganshow@icloud.com. Glen Biegel is off this week. Spending some time with his family. We will be on the air tomorrow again, and then we're going to take New Year's Day off, and then we'll be back on again Friday. Hope you can spend some time with us. And then Glenn will be back with us on Monday. And we're ready to hit 2015. Ready to hit it hard. 8:30. Ready to hit it hard. 8:30.
Don't just sit there. Give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
Local news brought to you by Jansen Funeral Homes, Jansen's Evergreen Memorial Chapel, Jansen's Alaska Cremation Center, and Jansen's Eagle River Funeral Home. Jansen Funeral Homes, where just like family, they're there when you need them.
With KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. The state is accepting public comment on its action plan for Wasella's Cottonwood Creek, which was recently found to have high levels of fecal coliform bacteria. State officials say a series of small steps can help bring those levels back into the acceptable range. The Kenai Animal Shelter is ending its drop-off kennels, and Kenda explains why.
The after-hours kennels were meant to give people a way to drop off unwanted dogs and cats instead of doing something worse. But the shelter says people were not providing information about the animals, such as its age and health, that makes it more difficult to find a new home for them, as well as often ignoring instructions not to leave animals outside overnight in sub-freezing conditions. The drop-off kennels will close as of December 31st.
The public forum's been set for January 15th in the Mat-Su Borough Assembly chambers to discuss the legal and other issues surrounding marijuana. That's your Hot Talk News update.
Today will be rather cloudy with a high 37, then remaining cloudy tonight with a couple of showers around before. Temperatures fall below freezing. We'll have a low tonight of 28. For New Year's Eve tomorrow, snow much of the time accumulating 2 to 4 inches with a high 34, then a rather cloudy night, low 23. For New Year's Day, mostly cloudy skies, high of 28. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Happy holidays from your family at Worthington Ford. We wish you and yours all of the health and happiness in the world. Please be safe this holiday season, like Grandpa always said.
Hey, if you drive, don't drink. If you drink, don't drive. We love you.
If people avoided this one thing, 1/3 of cancer deaths would be avoided. Can you guess what it is? Well, I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN's chief medical correspondent. 3 out of 10 people die from cancer caused by smoking cigarettes. That's according to a new national study. Researchers say this is higher than the rate of cigarette-related cancer deaths 30 years ago, despite large declines since then in smoking rates. The number doesn't even include deaths from secondhand smoke, cigars, or pipes. Cigarette smoking is one of the hardest addictions to quit. Now, while quitting won't be easy, it's worth it. Remember that the damage smoking does to your body is reversible. In fact, your body repairs itself almost immediately after you quit. Just 2 weeks smoke-free, and your lung function will improve. Make it a year smoke-free, and your risk of heart attack will drop to less than half that of a smoker. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost you thousands. The Quicken Loans PMI Advantage is our lender-paid mortgage insurance program. You see, we pay the PMI so you don't have to. PMI Advantage can give you more options, more flexibility, and may save you thousands when you refinance. To learn more, call us at 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN, or visit us at QuickenLoans.com.
Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender licensed all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
If you're an individual investor looking for tax-free income, consider municipal bonds. Henyon & Walsh is a leading independent expert in municipal bonds. For over 20 years, they've been helping individual investors like you build bond portfolios. If you have at least $10,000 to invest, call Henyon & Walsh today for your free bond guide. Call 1-800-908-0673. That's 1-800-908-0673. May be subject to local, state, or alternative minimum tax. Henyon & Walsh, Inc., member of FINRA, SIPC.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can go your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything. From auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Glen Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist for Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209. Here's my good friend, Keith Montronock.
Automotive repairs can be frustrating. Let me help. Call 349-1637. I have been in business for nearly 20 years at the same location. Specialty Truck and Auto is in South Anchorage behind the Long Branch Saloon where Diamond becomes Abbott. I have 6 ASE certified technicians working from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. I have a voucher for any of the 6 Alaska Laser Wash locations for each customer. If you schedule ahead and need a ride when you drop your vehicle off, I may be able to help. Call Specialty Truck and Auto, 349-1637.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
8:36 in the morning. Good morning to you. It's Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel's off today. We're broadcasting on KOAN, KVNT, also streaming live on the internet, video and audio, danfagan.us. Email me, danfaganshow at icloud.com. Our number, 569-1080. 569-1080. This is a story that just breaks your heart. I have so entrenched vividly in my brain this picture of Mr. Obama, our current president. He was on the front lawn of the or I don't remember where it was. It was outside, somewhere outside in the White House. He's with some other world leader. It's raining really heavily. And so Mr. Obama had standing next to him a Marine in full decorated uniform, holding an umbrella over Obama while the Marine got soaked. And there was something about that just irked me. I know that typically men and women of the left are anti-military. They don't think much of our military. As a matter of fact, many of them think that the military is on the front lines of America oppressing other nations. They have disdain for our men and women in uniform. I know that most on the left will not say that out loud anymore. They used to say it, but it's not politically correct anymore. Well, now there's a story out of Hawaii where this couple, Natalie Heimel and Edward Malou, both captains in the U.S. Army, they're stationed in Hawaii, and they were scheduled to get married at the Kanoe Kipper Golf Course. It's a military course. But after the rehearsal on Saturday, they were told they'd have to move their wedding to another day because the president wants to play golf on the golf course. Can you imagine President George W. Bush telling a military couple they couldn't get married on a certain day because he wants to play golf? I can't imagine him doing it. The ironic thing about all this is the couple, they knew that the president was in town vacation in Hawaii. A couple of days before the wedding, they sent him an invitation. They get a letter back saying, no, but I will play golf there, and you guys can get married somewhere else. It's amazing to me. Now, the media won't tell you much about this. If George Bush had done this, oh my goodness. Can you imagine the coverage? In the president's defense, he did call the couple afterwards and apologize. I don't know much about women, but what I do know, they don't like their wedding plans messed with. I would imagine the bride was not too happy. This president loves the golf, doesn't he? Said, I'm going to play through. You get married somewhere else. I'm the president of the United States. You do what I say. You must buy health insurance. You must postpone your wedding. I don't understand the left. I do not. I don't understand this lack of reverence. There's no greater thing you can do than lay down your life for someone else. And every man and woman who's ever put on a uniform has taken the position that they are willing to put themselves in harm's way for the rest of us. They will stand on that wall and fight evil on our behalf. It's an amazing, honorable decision. And for the president to say to a couple, both of them, by the way, served in combat in Afghanistan, that your wedding day will be postponed because I want to get in my 700th round of golf as president. It's just mind-boggling to me. You don't like to contrast and compare, but you look at a guy like George W. Bush, whose heart bleeds for the military. You can hear it in his voice, the trembling in his voice when he talks about the military, the compassion in his eyes, the way that he has dedicated his post-presidency to serving the military, putting on golf tournaments for them, charity benefits for them, visiting them in the hospital. It's really his life mission. Can you imagine President Bush being told, well, sir, if you play golf today, there's a couple of combat veterans who are getting married, and they'll have to postpone their wedding. And Mr. Bush saying, well, I don't care. I'm going to go play golf. Can you imagine? I can't imagine him saying that. It's a different worldview. It's a different way of looking at things. You know, if you believe as the left believes, if you believe the United States is a country of oppressors, which they do, folks, if you sit down and, many people, you have to understand, I've talked to a lot of leftists. I've interviewed many of them. I've known them personally. I know what makes them tick. They do not believe in the greatness of America. They do not. And all the things that America has done. Look at George Bush. George Bush liberated 50 million people when he was president in Iraq and in Iran. In Afghanistan. Look what Ronald Reagan did with the Cold War. Look what we did with World War II, World War I. This has been a country of liberating people we don't even know. And the left sees it the complete opposite. They see us as oppressors and thwarting our will on other nations. And so, if you're on the left and you believe that, who are you going to blame for all the oppression? Well, it would be the men and women in uniform, because they're the ones who go over there and do the oppressing. We would call it liberating. They would call it oppressing. So I understand why the left has a disdain for the military. I get that. If you don't believe in this country, obviously you got to put the blame on the military. So I get it. I get where they're coming from. The 60s movement where they spat on soldiers and treated them as war criminals. John Kerry testifying before Congress, where men and women in uniform were still over in Vietnam, that men and women in uniform were raping and burning villages and killing kids and all these war crimes and atrocities that Kerry alleged that really never happened. That's the left. The Jane Fondas of the world going over there and dancing on top of a tank with the communists, siding with them. That's the left. They embrace tyranny and communism and socialism, and they reject the free market. And who's been at the forefront of spreading freedom? It's been the military. So if you're from the left, you can't possibly have anything but disdain in your heart for the military. So I understand why Mr. Obama didn't care that these two combat veterans wanted to get married, and he was going to play his golf round instead. It's because that's his worldview. That's who he is as a man. It's his belief system. The rest of us, we cringe. Him, it's just another day at the office. 8:44. Him, it's just another day at the office. 8:44.
Fagan and Biegel. 569-1080 KOA.
You know, after a hard day at work and then shopping for the holidays, the last thing you want to do is slave over a hot stove. Well, don't worry about it. Relief from this hectic time of year is just a jingle away. Call 333-8000 and ring in the holidays with the Sicily's Season Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. So relax and let Sicily's deliver hot, fresh, delicious pizza, pasta, calzones, wings, and salads right to your door. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Call 333-8000 and ask for the Season's Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. For the only 24-hour-a-day delivery in Alaska, call 333-8000 or save 20% by ordering online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's. Wishing you and yours a safe and happy holiday season.
Hi, this is Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company. Sellers, if you are going to sell your home, now may very well be the best time. The current interest rates are still very low in comparison to previous loan rates. Now is the time to take advantage of this uncommon phenomenon. We will look back at this period as a golden opportunity to buy or sell. Homeowners planning to sell should call us at 244-0821. We will be happy to come out and do a comparative market analysis at your convenience. Call Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company, 244-0821. That's 244-0821.
Anchorage Fracture and Orthopedic Clinic has provided exceptional sports medicine care to Alaska athletes since 1969. As the official orthopedic providers for UAA Hockey and the Alaska Football League, we continue to keep athletes and their fans in the game. Our doctors provide the most comprehensive bone, joint, and muscle care for all areas of the body. Learn more at www.afoc.com. Anchorage Fracture and Orthopedic Clinic, the strength of experience.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give them a call, 569-1080 KOAN.
Well, good morning to you. 8:47 here on a Tuesday. Is that right? Tuesday morning?
That's it.
Tuesday morning. How you like that? Good morning to you, folks. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel is off today. Our number 569-1080. 569-1080. That is the number. If you'd like to join the broadcast, you can email me, Dan Fagan Show at iCloud.com. And again, our number is 569-1080. Some breaking news here. The Air Asia crash victims have been found. 6 bodies from the doomed jet are recovered from the Java Sea. Bodies of the crash victims spotted floating in the sea off the coast of Borneo Island. At least 6 bodies recovered from the water by Indonesian naval vessel. Officials have now confirmed the wreckage is from the Air Asia Flight 8501. Navy spokesman earlier claimed 40 bodies were retrieved. But this figure has now been corrected to 6 by search and rescue team. Well, you know, that's certainly something important, I think, for the family. Rescue workers searching for the doomed flight discovered alongside with luggage, plane door, and emergency slide in the water 100 miles off the coast of Borneo Island today. That's 3 days of searching. Officials have confirmed that the bodies and debris found were from Flight 8501. No word yet on the cause of what happened. Obviously, it was very freakish in light of the other airplane just missing in what is basically the same region. The chief executive of the airline said, "My heart is filled with sadness for all the families. On behalf of Air Asia, my condolences to all. Words cannot express how sorry I am." At a press conference later in the day, he added, "This is a scar with me for the rest of my life. There is at least some closure as opposed to not knowing what happened and holding out hope." There were no immediate reports of any survivors. Along the presence of life, Wrath might raise hopes people survived the crash. Yeah, I don't know. You just don't know what to think about that. Flying, it's certainly safe. The amount of airplanes in the air right now, this second, is mind-boggling globally. There are graphics that will show you how many airplanes are flying real time at any given time in the world, and it's just astronomical. It's a lot of takeoff and landings, and you just don't really hear much about airplane crashes that often. So you can't let your heart be troubled about flying, but it is clearly sad anytime something like this does happen.
Well, you take a risk even walking down the street.
Sure.
There's been 3 or 4 pedestrians killed in Anchorage this year.
Yep. Just happened over on, what was it, Abbott? Or
Yeah,
O'Malley?
it's like O'Malley.
Yep.
Yep.
Here's another story. 96% of illegal immigrant families with deportation orders cannot be found. Thousands of illegal immigrants who spilled into border states earlier this year have disappeared from the government tracking. The wave of unaccompanied children and women illegally crossing to the United States between July and October was so large that Border Patrol had to release thousands of their own reconnaissance due to the lack of detention space. Now many of those ordered to be deported cannot be found, says an investigative reporter with a local TV station in Houston. The Obama administration has repeatedly reinforced these cases as top priority, yet the Houston TV station found that only a sliver have been sent home. After 6 months of requests, the Executive Office of Immigration Review told Houston's KPRC that 96% of the more than 4,100 families released and ordered deported did not show up to court, prompting the government to classify them in absentia. A similar 92% of the more than 1,600 accompanied children to be deported did not show up. The Executive Office of Immigration Review usually reports an 11% to 15% annual in absentia rate, far below this year's jump. After thousands who were caught and detained by Border Patrol, the court process remains sluggish. I don't know, folks. Part of me just says, let the Democrats have their way. Let's open the borders. We'll completely drain the welfare state and flood the market with workers that there are no jobs for, and just let the country crumble. Hell with it. And part of me says, I just let the Democrats have their way, and let's watch America implode, and let's all find another place. Let's all move to Texas and start our own country. Let the left and the Blasios in New York City, and the Barack Obamas, and the Mark Begiches, and all these guys who don't believe in the greatness of America, the sovereignty of America, and this is the greatest country in the history of mankind, let's let it implode. No rules, no laws, no checks and balances. Everybody comes in, they get driver's license, they get free rent, they get free housing, they get free cell phones, they can't shoot off fireworks, they get free health care. You can't have a big gulp. But if you did want a big gulp, it would be free because your food stamp credit card would pay for it. But you can't have it if you're in New York. And just let them have their way. It's kind of like, when you've got a son who's a drug addict and you just say, let him have it, let him end up in jail. Let him go to jail for the first 10 years of his life. Let him learn. The trouble with what I'm presenting here now is this is the greatest country in the history of mankind. It is a country with a destiny and a purpose, and its purpose is to be the city on the hill, the defender of freedom, the entity, the sovereign that stands up to evil. Now, you take America's greatness away from it, it's like taking kryptonite on Superman. America can no longer stand up to evil if we implode as the left wants, and then evil will have its day. That's the problem with giving up on America. We give up on the globe. There's got to come a time we have to realize there's an enemy within. There is an enemy within this country. You say, Dan, how can you use the word enemy against fellow Americans? They may not know that their policies will cause the implosion of this country, but they will, and that makes them the enemy. I don't care what they understand. I don't care how much understanding they have of how devastating their policies are. The bottom line is their policies are devastating. And with wide open borders and the welfare state, the combination of those two factors, this country will no longer be a self-sustaining superpower. That is without dispute. So we got to stop pussyfooting around with the left and the Democrats. We got to stop coddling them and pretending like they're harmless. They're not harmless. They are presenting a clear and present danger to your kids and your grandkids and your great-great-great-great-grandkids' future. It's not a small thing. And as illegal immigrants pour into our border and use more of our resources, every American citizen or every American immigrant who went and played by the rules becomes weaker and weaker and weaker and will just implode. It's like the lifeboat in the Titanic. You can overload the lifeboats, but eventually they're going to sink and everybody dies. And I'm sorry that you come from a country that your government is corrupt, and as a result of that you live on dirt floors and you have no ability to create wealth for yourself. I feel bad for you. But in the end, that's your country, and that's the decision you have made as a people. In America, we've made good decisions up to this point. We've rejected corruption. We've rejected security over freedom. We've embraced the free market. We've embraced independence and freedom. And as a result of that, we have become very wealthy and prosperous. And we shouldn't be punished for that. And if there are countries that have rejected freedom and embraced security and comfort, we as Americans shouldn't have to pay the price for your bad decision making and commit suicide as a nation by employing the tactics and policies that you have employed in your nation. That's the most amazing thing to me. That when you look at people who break into our country, they don't embrace the policies of the Republican Party. They embrace the policy of the Democratic Party. It's the policies of the Democratic Party that affected in the country that they were from. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel will be back on Monday. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Have a great day. Glen Biegel will be back on Monday. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Have a great day.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in to Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Be sure to catch them every weekday morning from 6 to 9 a.m. on Hot Talk KOAN.